It's not a bad crowd. Xavier Ellis and Andrew Embley are with me. That's a good crowd for a neutral game here in Perth. The first one ever.
Oh, they'll be excited, the players. It's been a long time since they've played in front of a crowd. Round one was obviously empty when we played, West Coast played over here against Melbourne. So, I mean, 20,000, fantastic. And weather's obviously poor, so hopefully the 20-odd do turn up.
I wandered past the Camfield bar. It was just outside the stadium, and it looked packed. Geelong and Collingwood supporters, so they're keen to see their teams. And normally when the interstate teams come to WA, they don't get a great run with the umpires. So it'd be nice today to see which side actually gets the favoured from the umpies.
I'm banking Collingwood.
Collingwood, you reckon?
I reckon they'll have the bigger of the 20,000 crowd in here tonight. So, and you're right, the Camfield, they do fill up there. It's good fun.
The old noise of affirmation.
That's
so we'll
right.
see which way that one goes. I'm actually thinking it's going to be fun to sit in the crowd tonight. Normally it's very one-sided. It's either West Coast or Fremantle. I know a lot of fans were looking forward to coming along to a game when it might be 50-50.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say I don't think we're going to get a hell of a lot of rain during the game. I've been on the bomb again, and I think what just went over might be the last we have for a little while. So fingers crossed we do get a clean game because such highly skilled teams.
Does it work in anyone's favour, this wet weather?
I reckon whatever team, both sides are really good around the contest. And when it's wet, I just always feel whichever team's prepared to hunt, get numbers around the contest. We know that Collingwood find a lot of the football. We know that Geelong like to mark the footy, kick mark. But in these kind of conditions, it does get a little bit dewy underfoot. You just want to win territory. And to do that, you need your mids to crack in, to be strong at the contest, win contested possessions, and get the game going their way. A bit of knock-on, surge-on, and that territory game. I think whichever game or whichever team can get the game played in their forward half tonight really does get the ascendancy for mine, X.
And not very often we get to see Gary Ablett live. What might be potentially his last season, to see one of the greatest of all time. I mean, I know he's going to play probably more forward, but he put on a great display last week, and I'm looking forward to seeing Gary Ablett live, and I'm sure a lot of neutral supporters are probably turning up for that reason as well.
Well, let's see what our man inside the Collingwood camp thinks about the conditions. Time to go inside the Magpies rooms for Bob Jane T-Mart's buy 3, get 1 3 on selected Yokohama and Nitto 4x4 tyres, bobjane.com.au. Robert Harvey, an assistant coach of the Magpies, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
It's a bit of a wet one. Are you taking cover?
Well, I am right now because I was out on the ground just before, and I just started belting down out of nowhere. So we're getting used to it. It's been like that for the last few days, but it's going to be a bit wet tonight.
You've been here since Saturday. How's the hub treating you at Joondalup?
Really good. We were in Sydney for a week last week on Darling Harbour, which is really good. But this is a different feel because we're sort of out a bit with a bit more space at Joondalup. And they've been really good to us. The boys are really enjoying it. They're settling really well. Hopefully we can show that we're in good shape tonight.
Rob, Andrew Embley, there's a couple of really lovely golf courses at Joondalup. Did you bring the golf clubs?
Well, we actually haven't got clearance to play golf, so the boys have been championed a bit to get the green light, but so far it hasn't come through. So we're waiting, but we've walked the holes, and that is a beautiful course, mate. To be honest, the golfers are keen to get out.
Lots of kangaroos around. It's a lovely course. I'm sure you guys will be keen to get on it as soon as you can. A little bit of rain around tonight. Are you going in with the same team?
At this stage we are, yeah. And it's like it's going to be greasy, but it's not too bad here. I mean, once it stops, I think it will stop. It'll be okay. But yeah, obviously the ball's going to be on the ground a lot, and Geelong are a great ground ball side, so it's going to be where it's won on the deck tonight.
Rob, Xavier Ellis here, mate. Jordan De Goey returns. How do you see his game tonight between midfield and forward line? He's been playing a pretty good blend early in the season. How's that going to play out tonight?
Oh, we always use him in both. He'll probably sort of play a fair bit of time forwards, but he'll play midfield as well. It just depends on the game. He's one of those players that when you need him, you call on him in the midfield, and who knows, he could play there a fair bit. We just call that as we go a bit, but he's good enough to play both, which is a good asset to have.
Midfield battle, especially when it is a little bit greasy, always becomes quite crucial. You would have really had a look at Geelong, in particular Simpson and Menegola last week. They were really important for them.
They were, and obviously Dangerfield, and they're better players in that third quarter, played really well, and they got it done where it counts in the middle, and That was where the game was at. And to be honest, that was a devastating quarter of footy, that third quarter last week. So we know where it's at, and we know the challenge in front of us. So the players are aware of that, and we're ready to go, hopefully. But it's going to be a big challenge with their midfield.
Still Sidebottom reunited with the team over in Perth. Mate, has he had a role Monday to Friday? I know he's suspended for the next few weeks, but has he tried to get hands on as much as he could during the week?
Well, to be honest, this week we sort of got to get him back out there. He's been sitting in a hotel room, not being able to do much. So because he was here, not in Sydney, so we want to just get him fit again. To be honest, he's a fit guy, but we just wanted to get him some match fitness into him and a bit of there. So that's happened. He's been really good. But yeah, we'll ramp up his responsibilities with the team as we go along. But he's still got to serve two games. He had a really good training session today with the guys that aren't playing tonight. So we'll just build him up from here.
Collingwood number 1 for disposals, obviously wet weather. Do you guys spend much time practicing a different brand of football for these conditions, or do you just assume the leaders are good enough and experienced enough to transfer their game styles?
Well, I think most AFL teams own what they are and their brand, and we're no different. So we won't change too much. That's the way we play, we won't apologise for that. So we'll go out and do our thing. And I think the players really love our brand and like to deliver it. So we want to be hard and tough, but we do use the ball and we like to share it. So we'll do that again tonight.
Coaches these days are quite reluctant to make changes. What I was really impressed with the way that you went about things last week against the Hawks. Obviously things were going your way, but it's like the fact that Elliott came into the centre bounce. He won some clearances for you. Stevenson got up, really high up the ground. You were prepared to change things and move things around a little bit.
Well, I think you need to, and particularly it's just got that feel about it this year to be a bit more unpredictable. So. And you've got to, obviously, we feel like we've got those assets to be able to do that. And Steve-O, when he first came back, was playing deeper, but he really is a great aerobic runner. So we're crazy not to use him where his strengths lie. And Elliott, we have used a fair bit in the centre bounce this year. He's a dynamite centre bounce player. So, yeah, we like to use him in there, and we bring his assets to the table there.
Darcy Moore has hit his peak of his powers after a couple of frustrating years with hamstring injuries. With Howe out, his game's gone to a new level, hasn't it?
Yeah, and like that's probably what he's been promising for a long time. He just hasn't been able to get out there, and I think everyone knows his quality, and it's just great, touch wood, to see him string a massive block of games together. And Elliott's no different. He's in the same boat. They've just had wretched luck with not getting out there. So those two boys in particular both put in a really big block of work, and obviously you get the results on the back of it, which Darcy's playing fantastic footy, and obviously with Howie going down, we really need him to step up, and he has.
The season's delicately poised, isn't it, Robert? What's been the reaction heading away for another 10 weeks to the end of the home and away season?
I just think you got to be everyone talks about it. You got to be so adaptable, and I think our players are in a really good headspace. They're looking forward to reuniting with their families in Queensland, which should be great. And I think that's the anxiousness that was probably bubbling away with everyone. Now we know our fate, know where we're going, and we know we can get the players and get their families there. I think that gives them peace of mind, and we can get on with the season and get the job done, hopefully. It's
a big game. Thank you very much for joining us.
Cheers. Thank you.
Fantastic access there to the Collingwood thoughts heading into this one. A late change for the Pies, which is not surprising. A bit of word around today that Big Mason Cox was going to be out of this team. So he's been managed. He's been struggling as well. In comes John Noble. So Cox averaging 6 disposals and 1 goal in 4 games this year.
Yeah, and it was only round 5 against Essendon in the wet. Big Mace had 2 handballs for the entire game. So I'm not surprised by that. He plays a role in the dry, I think. Horses for courses, too wet, get him out.
And conditions haven't really suited him so far. They've been a little bit dewy where he's played, and as you know, he does like the dry weather, and when the game's up in the air, it certainly gives him a chance to be able to run and jump and mark. But as we've seen so far, and it's definitely been wet here the last couple of days, Collingwood would have been looking at this for a while, and got a little downpour about half an hour ago. So I think on the back of that, they've made the right decision to go in with a smaller player in Noble.
What are you expecting from Jordan De Goey? I asked Robert Harvey there how he is mentally. He's physically good. How is he mentally heading into this one after the off-field drama?
Oh, he'd be excited. He's been over here with Still Sidebottom before the team arrived from Sydney. I think he's been a little bit erratic this year on the footy field. At midfield forward, I don't think he's kicked as many goals as you'd like, but he really is the barometer of the footy team. You've obviously got Treloar and Pendlebury and those guys who'll have 30 disposals. But I think De Goey is the barometer, and if he can kick 2 or 3, it's the way he kicks them too. It's the energy, it's the tackle bust. He provides so much for this football club. If he's on, it goes a long way to Collingwood winning tonight.
He'd be fresh mentally and physically, and just have a little bit of time over here by himself before Collingwood came, and he'd be really keen and prepared for tonight. He'll spend a lot of time in the centre bounce. They love him around the contest because he's cat-like. He's really strong in the contest. He wins clearances, but then he'll push forward as well, and he often gets on the end of a centre bounce clearance and ends up kicking the goal as well because he does follow the football really well. So we know what he does inside forward 50. He will certainly give bursts through the middle of the ground as well tonight.
And as you mentioned, Jamie Elliott could do a little bit of that workload in the midfield as well, so we might see a nice spread for De Goey tonight with Elliott's performance last week.
Just getting back to De Goey, how do we rate him? I mean, I think he's overrated myself, just watching him.
There's enormous
something about him. I'm saying, talking champion. I'm not sure he's Jamie Elliott yet.
No, he's not there yet. He had a very good grand final against West Coast. I think that was in front of a lot of the eyes. So, I mean, he's got a lot of improvement in his game, but I think he could be very good.
We are not far away from the bounce. 15 minutes from the bounce where Lockie Reid will join the great Dennis Cometti. Well, McDonald's, you're listening to the preview. This is Triple M, Rocks Footy.
The Triple M Footy preview for Coates Hire. Whatever you need, Coates Hire can make it happen. Search Coates Hire today.
From McDonald's.
Triple M Rocks Footy.
Triple M's Hot Breakfast.
Christopher Pine, he confirms something that we brought to the table. We thought it was an urban myth.
My view is that what happened to the Costellos should stay in the vault of time.
We made quite a pair playing piano, and your vocals were unbelievable.
What you probably don't know is that I was asked to do the Masked Singer this year.
I was as well.
Oh! No.
If it happens in Melbourne, you'll hear about it on Triple M's Hot Breakfast.
For Ream, ask your plumber to install a Ream. Steady, hot and strong.
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
Get everything you need to get stuff done at Officeworks. We have tech, furniture and office solutions to help you be more organised, efficient and productive. Shop in-store, online or via the app. Officeworks, helping you make bigger things happen.
Dun, 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 dun. At CommBank, we know that your home loan is the last thing you'd want to think about if the worst were to happen to a loved one. So if you, your spouse or child passes away or falls terminally ill, we'll pay your owner-occupied home loan for around 12 months. So you can focus on what matters most. No fees, no sign-up. Search Home Loan Compassionate Care. At CommBank, we hope you never need it, but we'll be there if you do. And we can, together. Age and loan eligibility requirements and other limitations and exclusions apply.
We all love a win-win, but have you ever enjoyed a win-win-win situation? With Optus Prepaid, you can. Recharge $40 or more on selected new or existing Optus Prepaid plans and you get a choice of 3 instant rewards. Go in the draw to win one of 8 Suzuki Ballinos and get double the data on selected plans. Recharge today and win-win-win. Strict eligibility and terms apply. See optus.com.au/win and 16 August 2020. Bonus data expires on recharge, does not roll over.
July is Sea-Doo's in-house boat show month. Come and see the entire Sea-Doo lineup and discover why Sea-Doo is still Australia's #1 choice in personal watercrafts. Bring the family. We have the lot, from watercrafts to trailers to safety equipment to get you up and sea-dooing. Come in and see us soon, as these boat show month specials must finish July 31st. See things differently. Visit seadoo.com to find your local dealer. Play nicely, snow melts in water and social distancing is more fun anyway.
As most Australian families become more accustomed to spending time at home and less time outside, we may not be getting our daily dose of vitamin D. We need to ensure we take care of our family's health. Microgenics Vitamin D3 helps with calcium absorption to support bone strength, as well as assisting a healthy immune system function. You'll find Microgenics Vitamin D3 available every day for a great price at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label, follow the directions for use. Vitamin supplements should not replace a balanced diet.
It's up to us all right now to support Aussie-made products and Aussie-owned businesses, but where do we look? Well, Buy Aussie Now is Australia's first one-stop shop to showcase all locally made products. Let's support our friends and families in these tough times. Register at buyaussienow.com.au. That's buyaussienow.com.au. Keep jobs in Australia. We can all make a difference.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Rheem. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology. When it comes to water heating, install a Rheem.
The biggest crowd of the AFL season to date is in Perth for two Victorian teams. It is Collingwood and Geelong doing battle at Optus Stadium. Welcome everyone. Welcome to our local listeners from Perth. Excited about Thursday night footy here in the West. A little unusual. And might I just say welcome to Xavier Ellis and Andrew Embley. The Hall of Famer is here, Dennis Cometti.
Don't start again, please.
Now, gents, X-Man, where did you have to park and how long did you have to walk to get in here?
Oh, incredible. I actually parked so far out in the rain, and it was one of the biggest downpours we've had for the day. No umbrellas, nothing, just a mad bolt. The gates were closed. About 30 to 35 minutes.
Yeah, I was that far away. I had to get an Uber from my car to the ground.
Yeah. Okay, two premiership heroes. Then we go to the Hall of Famer.
And us.
Then we go to Mr. Hall of Fame, Dennis Cometti.
I want to talk to you about your opener. All you did was come up here and do your TV thing again. Same break, up temper. Oh, look at you.
How did you get in? Where did you park, Dan?
Close to the gate.
Close to the gate. As in, did you go through the gate in a chauffeur-driven limousine?
The guy was insistent. He wanted me to go inside, so I thought, can't upset this fella so early in the night.
Welcome to you. Excited. A little strange, isn't it? I mean, you're used to going over to Melbourne, calling Geelong and Collingwood and Victorian teams against each other, but we're here in the West and we've got two powerhouses of the AFL.
You make it sound recent. But, okay, that was good. No, it's going to be a good game, obviously. Interesting, the styles of these two sides. I mean, Collingwood number one for possessions in the AFL. Geelong lead the AFL for short kicks. Collingwood a third. So patience will certainly be a key tonight, I would think.
And what about conditions? I mean, we've had
They're
rain.
wet.
Oh, yeah, they certainly are. We've had rain all day and there's going to be heavy showers throughout the night.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, you know more about it than me, so why are you asking me? In terms of the weather, I think it's going to suit, well, both these sides, given they like to short pass it around. They don't take many risks. I think Geelong take more risks, and some of those figures are a little sloped because of what they do at Cardinia Park. I'm not sure what it's called now. It's a lot of initials, but Cardinia Park. And it probably just stifles their stats a bit and skews them.
Okay, thank you, Dan. That was a very comprehensive start today. No wonder you've driven here in a limo and you've had plenty of time to get going.
That wasn't the key to it. I met a nice man.
Okay. For Coates Hire, this is the Triple M footy preview. Whatever you need, Coates Hire can make it happen. Search Coates Hire today. Gents, welcome to you, Xavier and also Embers. What a combination that would have been on the footy field. What are you making of these two teams and the fact that we are calling a game here in Perth for them?
Excited. I'm looking forward to it. And the good thing is both Collingwood and Geelong are playing some really good football at the moment. And Dan mentioned some of those stats. But in these conditions tonight, you're going to have to adapt. And I just feel like the territory game is going to be really crucial, X. And again, both sides are really strong around the contest. Was really impressed with Geelong last week. Geez, they show resilience. Lost a couple of players early, but their second half was outstanding. And a couple of players for mine, Menegola, Simpson, really stood up. And I think Darcy Ford as well is going to be really important tonight. He's going to come up against Grundy. And we expect Grundy to, play his important role that he normally does. But again, for Ford, he just needs to be able to nullify the influence that Grundy has around the contest and at least nullify some of those hits to advantage that Brodie Grundy does really well. So, again, that contest through the middle of the ground for mine is going to be something really crucial to look at.
Yeah, the ruck contest, as you mentioned, number one. And you're right, they've got Dangerfield, Selwood, Menegola, Mitch Duncan, massive out tonight, not playing, obviously. But if it can be competitive in there and Dangerfield can do what he did last weekend, they're going to be in for a big, big show. And when the backs were to the wall last week against Brisbane, Selwood stood up, Dangerfield stood up, Hawkins and Gary Ablett had a purple patch as well. So the old boys with that blend of youth, it worked really well for Geelong.
Never miss a single goal with McDelivery, available via the Uber Eats app. And I'm sure Ember's soaked up that for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy. Mason Cox is out of the team. John Noble comes in. Just weather conditions, purely?
It just hasn't been really marking it, has he? And in these kind of conditions at the moment don't suit Mason Cox. He likes the dry conditions, he likes the ball up in the air where he can run and jump and grab them. And we've had a lot of rain the last couple of days. Collingwood would have certainly been watching that, and I think they made the right call to go a little bit small. I just don't think these conditions suit Mason Cox tonight.
And I reckon they've given him a few chances in the wet too, and then after the game, as it was 2 weeks ago in the wet, he had 2 handballs. They sort of pinch themselves a little bit and say they probably could have pulled the trigger on it. Well, tonight's the night they pulled the trigger on it. Mason Cox will sit out. I did find it really interesting when the teams ran out. Collingwood got a roar and Geelong got absolutely booed. So the Collingwood army are out in force in the 20,000 crowd.
They've got a big following here, like
they do, don't they?
The Pies love coming to Perth.
Yeah.
They love playing here. For the 3 times I played here at Optus, they've won 2. So they get great travelling support. Obviously not travelling support at the moment, but great local Collingwood supporters here at the game. And as X mentioned, when Geelong ran out, there was boos.
Yeah.
The West Coast Eagles supporters are not only the people that boo here at this stadium. It's the Collingwood supporters here too now.
West Coast and Collingwood, very similar. Very similar. Fantastic footy club.
So 30,000 were allowed in the venue. Today it was looking like it was around 25,000. Not a bad turnout. Weather would have put off some, and I suppose others maybe would have got sucked into the possibility of 60,000 at the Derby, so they were saving their cash. Then all of a sudden things changed.
Thursday night, 42, school holidays. I know a lot of people are away at the moment and the weather hasn't been kind, but just having a little look around at the moment, we're going to get close to 25 to 28,000 here. It's starting to fill up quite well, and just a great opportunity for Western Australians to see 2 quality teams in Collingwood and Geelong going at each other at the Optus Stadium tonight.
And it will fill up, of course, because we've had the restrictions on us as well. So people will be out the back having a beer and socialising and catching up and rushing back from work because everyone's back to work at the moment. So it will fill up, 6-10 bounce down. I'm sure the numbers will be coming through now.
Hey, Dad, I'm just looking around and, gee, this stadium would look good on grand final day, wouldn't it? All packed out.
Yes. It would. It'd be great.
Think? It's
great for the stadium.
It's going to happen?
Well, it's not out of Melbourne yet. You said it's still in Melbourne for now.
Yeah.
So we're spoilt for choice, I think. I would love to see it as a proud West Australian, the game come here, but I suppose people in Brisbane are keen to get it to the Gabba. Who knows? It would even... perhaps a few games out from the finals, need the AFL to see who's going to play in them.
Yeah.
That might be part of the deal.
And maybe it just becomes a hub and you play at the one state that you're in.
Well, I feel for Victoria at the moment, and another 317 cases of COVID today.
Have a listen to this man. He's got stats.
I know, he's got the levels. He's got what grade we're in and all that sort of stuff. We spoke about it, went straight over our head.
There's a big chance that Victoria will be going to stage 4 on Monday. And stage 4 is... and that's bigger than stage 3, Locke.
Yes.
Thank you, Emma.
I'm with you, Emma. I'm with you.
What happens in stage 4?
We just need to do Melbourne a favour, Victoria the favour at the moment, and just take it all. They've got too much going on at the moment to be worrying about football in their state.
Quite right.
Even if they are able to control the curve, you cannot see football being played in Victoria with numbers.
Agree.
With numbers there.
Wholeheartedly.
So, on the back of that, why would you play a grand final of the MCG in front of 0 people when you can come to arguably the second best stadium in the country, in Optus Stadium? And anyone that's been here will know this is a wonderful facility. It comes across really well at night. You could have a twilight grand final here, maybe 4 o'clock, goes into Melbourne at 6 o'clock. It's certainly, you have to put your hand up.
Certainly what's happened in Melbourne, though, could happen elsewhere as well.
Yeah.
The virus could decide where the game is played.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. No, absolutely.
Hey?
And that's the reason why maybe Queensland, the warmer conditions, might be putting their hand up at the moment.
No, I say Mark McGowan.
I say.
No, that was Donald Trump's story. Wait till the sun comes out, everything will be beautiful.
Disappear.
Adelaide Oval, that's another beautiful stadium. I think they need to be putting their hand up as well.
It's a travelogue.
I do
but
think...
we're not going to go to Gabba. I mean, that is... you go to the Gabba and they've got coloured seats in there so that when no one's there, it actually looks like it's filled.
Yeah, great idea. Great idea. No, I do feel if it is at Brisbane or if it is Perth or Melbourne, I feel like Brisbane have got a good case or Queensland have got a good case. They're going to do some extreme heavy lifting for the competition to continue now. So if they get it, and there was the argument that we've got a State of Origin game coming to WA, so we're taking their grand final as such into Perth. So why not into Queensland?
There's 3 of those, though, isn't there?
Yes, but it's a big moment, mate. Come on. No.
Don't come in here and get shifty with figures.
Yeah, we're not in stage 4 yet, then.
Follow this game, #Embers for PM. In fact, no. AFL Cats Pies, let's head to town on the boundary. Bob Jane T-Marts. We got your Tan down there in amongst the 25,000 in attendance. No, we'll come back to your Tan because we are about to start the game, as we said. Around 25,000, maybe 26 in attendance. It allowed 30. And then, of course, on Sunday, same 30,000 for the Derby. 2 games of footy here in the West. And we start with the 2 powerhouses of the AFL, or 2 of the powerhouses in Collingwood and Geelong. Here's Dennis Cometti.
I can tell you the umpires are 2, 17 and 18. The only one I know is 18, Ray Chamberlain. See, that's what happens with fame. Everybody knows where he goes, who he is. At least I think it's him. Can you check?
Yeah, it's him.
It's him. So number 2 is going to bounce the ball anyway. So we're set to go. The record not as complete as it normally is, but we're underway. Knocked down immediately by the big fella. That was Grundy initially. Kicked out of the centre by Pendlebury down towards half forward. De Goey's in front, slaps it towards the boundary, goes after it. Overruns the footy though. Coming through with it is Treloar. Hand passes back. Chopped off there by Jasny. Picked up by Main. Clever hand pass into the path of De Goey. De Goey heard a voice, went for it, and the ball goes out of bounds on the full, unfortunately, just off the fingertips there of Adams.
De Goey started forward and picked up by Jasny.
Ball to be thrown in. The Pies heading towards the right of your dial. 36 seconds gone in this first quarter. Grundy gets the first tap again. Adams there in the ground. Gets it off to Stevenson, who kicks it round the corner. De Goey amongst the action straight away. In fact, that's Stevenson. He lays the tackle and the ball goes over the line and out of bounds.
Just having a look at Pendlebury and Dangerfield. No match-up set to them, so we could be in for a great night with these champions going head-to-head.
70 arounds from the Pies' goal. We throw it back in. Neither ruckman got the touch. Main gathered it, gave it to Adams. His kick inside 50 is good, and De Goey marked but then dropped it. He's paid it.
Just watch the contest there between Taylor Adams and Joel Selwood. Joel Selwood just got caught ball watching a little bit at that stoppage, and Taylor Adams, who matched up on him, was just able to keep his feet, and he won the footy and just showed really good composure to lower the eyes and hit De Goey.
Geelong fans not happy, but the Pies will be wrapped if De Goey can kick it from 45. Hear the roar. Footy's back with the crowds. 1 straight 6, the Magpies. The Cats yet to score. We've gone a little over a minute in this first term. That's on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard, built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology when it comes to water heating. Installer Ream.
Embers, De Goey might have heard Den's comments in the pre-game. Slightly overrated. He started exceptionally well. Got his hands. And that's the way you like to see Jordan De Goey coming out of the goal square. Space in front of him. He's got speed. He's got power. And as we just saw there, a beautiful finish as well. He's very dangerous. He's one of those confidence players as well. You can see him kicking one early, could soon become 2, 3, and before you know it, he's best on ground.
Freshened up mentally and physically. He looks really lively to start the game. And as you said, just attacks the footy. Just a really good kick from Taylor Adams. Didn't blaze away. Found De Goey coming straight at him.
It certainly was a great kick, wasn't it? Good player. Good midfield, Collingwood. 2 of the best in the league on display tonight. The weather is holding up at the moment. Good night for footy. Not too cold either. So we're back in the centre. Fort and Grundy will fight it out. Umpire tosses it up. Grundy wins this. Taps it wide. Pendlebury tried to kick it off the ground. That's the idea. Adams did. Goes out towards the wing. Clever by Dangerfield. Into the path of Parfitt. Socket off the ground by Elliott. And it's going out of bounds now. That was his left foot. And the umpire decides it was deliberate. Ray Chamberlain, like he's bowling a strike, he rushes over there and adjudicates as the kick goes up towards the wing. Missed by Roughhead, close to the boundary line. He applies a strong tackle. Pendlebury, quick hand pass away. Taken by Crisp. And he's taken over the boundary line. Will get a throw in.
Roughhead got the job on Tom Hawkins. Having a good year, Tom Hawkins. He leads his team for goal assists and in fact leads the competition for goals assists and been presenting really hard. He's been a very good player for a long time.
6 points, Collingwood's lead. 3.5 gone in the first term. Ball thrown back into play. Working hard is Treloar. He gets it out in the direction of Grundy for the Pies. Goes back by hand to Phillips. He gets on the left and kicks to the top of the 50. No mark taken. De Goey there once again hovering. This time he can't gather. Treloar does. Quick kick inside 50. Will bounce towards the boundary line and the Cats will be happy to see that over the line. We'll throw it in 15 to 20 metres around from Collingwood's goal.
Treloar really is the Tom Mitchell of 2 seasons ago. 2 games back, over 30 disposals in both those games, can find it anywhere.
Quite amazing too with the time of quarters, isn't it, that he's still racking up similar numbers. Ball thrown in. Grundy was all on his own. Got it to Adams. Loose hand pass. They'll go to Buse. The Cats trying to get out of trouble. Caught in a beautiful tackle was Dalhouse. Stripped of the footy. Here's Elliott. Gathers it. 35 out. Kicks across the face. And through for a minor score. 1-1-7 the Pies. The Cats yet to score. 4.5 gone.
Just good pressure there by John Noble into the side. For Mason Cox, and that's what you want him to do, putting pressure on lane strong tackles, and it was his tackle that allowed that shot on goal from Elliott.
Henry kicks in, looking for Blixarves. Over the top, Maynard missed it, exposed at the back, Collingwood. Rowan's got it now, little chip towards the wing. They can take it and go. Here's Stephen, Jack Stephen, cuts inboard. Beat a couple, went a long way, got knocked off. The second man did him in. Main came across his path first, and then Pendlebury. And it was the second guy who made him take a couple of extra steps. So Pendlebury's got the ball, the right half back, looking towards half forward, not much movement. Pendlebury, 5 best and fairest in his hip pocket, up towards the wing, beyond the wing. Opportunity now for Hoskin. Elliott gets onto a spiral, sort of, and that's a poor kick, and it floats out of bounds down where the arc of the 50 meets the boundary.
Just lost their structure forward of the footy there, Collingwood. Hoskin Elliott looked up and he realised there was no one to kick to, so he tried to go to the boundary line, but in the end sprayed it.
Never miss a single goal with delivery, available via the Uber Eats app, as the kick along the line is absolutely sensational. And the mark taken by Forts, Darcy Forts, just defensive side of the wing. He'll kick towards about 60 metres out. No one can take the mark. Guthrie working hard. He's caught in the tackle, gets the hand pass away. Well played to Dangerfield. Now back in the hands of Stephen. He's had a bit of a fumble, so caught or ran too far, then had a fumble, but he'll get a free kick. It'll go against Stevenson, and he'll kick to the middle of the ground. The Cats to try and work it to the far side. The long kick is good to Menengola. He'll gather on the wing, could bomb it inside 50. It was a good-looking kick, and the Hawk nearly took the mark. Hawkins sliding to the ground, had it in one hand, rolled out and over the line out of bounds. 1-1-7 Collingwood. The Cats yet to score, 6.5 gone in this first term.
Good to see Jordan Clark back too. Stylish West Australian playing for Geelong, involved in the action just then. So boundary throw in, right on the line of the 50. Hooked down behind by Fort, taken by Varco. Varco's tackle, gets a hand pass away. Goes wide, this is Phillips. Nicely done, the left footer. Gets through a pack, kicks it long towards the wing. Blixarves was there, couldn't take the mark. Doing nicely, Collingwood win the ball on the ground. Driven forward inside the 50 there. Elliott was the kicker, and the ball goes over the boundary line. It wasn't his best kick, but he was under a lot of pressure. Myercheck, a wonderful willing worker for Collingwood, tracks the ball across the boundary line, so a throw-in.
Collingwood mids off to a quick start. Adams with 5, Treloar and Pendlebury both with 3 already on the Triple M stats.
They're a real powerhouse. Some great names in there. And guys in the middle of their careers as well. They'll be around for a while yet. Tossed in, off hands. Noble, a hand pass over the shoulder. Fired back into the pack. Hurried kick there by Stephen. Will it be deliberate? Yes, it will. But umpire number 2 rushes across and points in the Collingwood direction. So Collingwood, with Pendlebury a long way out, he'll set this to the top of the square. Dangerous spot for it. They come from all angles. Big fist away by Geelong, taken by Blixarves. Kicks it back towards midfield. Rowan does well. Rowan was very feisty early last week in that game against Brisbane. Could have been reported 3 times in the first 10 minutes. Did I say that? Well, yeah. Short pass comes back towards the middle. It was marked by Collar Jasny, who gets it to Blixarves. What an athlete. Blixarves, eyes darting, play on's the call, so in he comes, then kicks towards the boundary, coming across is Moore to kill it, didn't quite get there, but the ball spills anyway. Now it's with Moore, over the top to Brown, hand passes to Crisp, a nice looking kick. Myercheck to the run of DeGoey looks down towards goal, overrated, he kicks it down towards the pocket, shocking kick, close to the behind line, although it was coming back with a bit of bias, like a lawn bowl. He's a genius. Did you see that, Lucky?
I did. It's 1-2-8 Collingwood. Geelong yet to score. Of course, Xavier Ellis and Andrew Embley with us for Cbus Super. Cbus Super, a super fund you can trust, as The Cats try and get it out of their defensive half of the ground. They're trailing by 8 points at the moment. We've gone 9 minutes. They've worked it up towards the wing now. The kick will go inside 50 to Hawkins. Good ball movement. Only 3 kicks, and the Tomahawks taken it. Tempted to kick to Radaglia, but decides he's got a big enough hoof on him, and he's going to have a crack from outside 50.
I think he's seen Radaglia have a shot at goal.
Just got caught in no man's land there, Jordan Roughhead. He was on Geelong player, and he should have really pressed up. In the end, he didn't. And he allowed Gary Rowland to get up at the contest, and then should have got back on his opponent in Hawkins. It was too slow to do that. That's why Hawkins is having a shot on goal.
They'll step just over the 50 to kick at this on the angle, sends it on its way, and it's to the right. So a minor score for the Cats, their first of the evening.
Ugly early, that from Hawkins, but you can see Geelong are trying to play their way. They're not worried about the conditions. Mark, make the ground really big, whilst Collingwood are really rushing gun forward. They've stuck to their guns both sides.
Moore kicks in. Oh, good mark, Grundy. Terrific effort. Front man, Blixer trying to punch away. No dice. Grundy on the northern wing, right in front of our commentary position. Interesting kick. Spears one towards Main, who hung on, and he makes it awkward for Noble too. A little batting practice out there. Or slips catching. Noble had to go for it. Did. Full-chested on his stomach. Drives this one up towards the wing. Big leap at the back from Hoskin Elliott, close to the boundary line. Dacos has got it. He's developing into a good player. Didn't play last week, Dacos. I watched a tape from the previous week. Just to show management I do some homework. And as a result, I saw him play a very good game just a couple of weeks ago, Lockie.
Yeah, that's the reward for doing homework. You get Parky underneath while we all walk miles. Tap down towards Adams. He kicks it forward. No one can gather. Geelong will try and get it through the hands of Stephen. He's tackled and brought to the ground. Ball not coming anywhere, or not coming out, and we'll ball it up. So about 80 metres out from Collingwood's goal at right half forward.
And clearances at the moment 7-1 in favour of Collingwood. Geelong just got to get their balance right here at the moment. Collingwood are first, they're harder, and they're trying to get numbers behind it as well.
So I think the footy was Maynard on the ground, did really well. Here's Treloar, caught in a tackle. Guthrie will wait to receive the hand pass. No, it was the youngster in Clark who kicked it, and then he had his kick smothered. Now the ball goes to Myers, and Myers in the middle looks towards men in goal and decides that's not the best option through the middle of the ground, so he'll slow things down. Myers, an active player, decides to kick to the top of the 50. It was well directed. Dangerfield got in the way of a teammate. Noble did well for Collingwood. Gathered, gave it to Phillips. He kicks out towards the wing, and Myercheck takes a terrific mark. Wants to play on quickly. Xavier Ellis spoke about it. The kick inside 50 will bounce beautifully. Hoskin Elliott round the corner. Goal! What a superb kick, Brodie Myercheck. Out in front of his teammate, and bang she goes. 2-2-14 Collingwood. The Cats just one behind. 12 gone in the first term on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard.
And there's a lot of stars in this Collingwood lineup. Myercheck, who's running to the boundary line as we speak for a rest. Very underrated player. You rarely see him play a bad game. Kicks goals, works hard up the ground. You see there, took a great contested mark. And then could have given the easy handball, but saw what he liked and gave it his full boot inside 50 to get the ball going quickly, Collingwood style. And Hoskin Elliott with a classy finish. He's an exceptional player, Brodie Myercheck.
Makes a big difference when you've got key forwards that can jump up and take marks. We've seen Brodie Grundy take a big one already. Now Myercheck, but as you said, prepared to move it and move it quickly. And the kick was so penetrated that it allowed Hoskin Elliott to be able to get out the back, and a really good finish by him.
Myercheck, terrific. And you get the feeling just watching him, I've never spoken with him, but he doesn't seem to have an ego. He just does what has to be done, the dirty work on the forward line. But he snatches a bit of glory too. He kicks quite a few goals. We're back in the centre. Fort and Grundy. Grundy mistimed it. Fort won it down. Gathered in there and hand pass by Adams. He's got it now, actually. Adams kicks it down towards half forward. Hand pass to himself. The ball runs across the 50-metre line. Picked up there by De Goey. De Goey looks back towards the middle. Spearing pass. But he finds Grundy. Man on the mark is right on the 50. I doubt Grundy can get the distance, and so does he. Good call by the umpire, not 15. Well done, umpire. Treloar hand passes away. Parfitt grabs it. Hand passes to Dalhouse, to Myers. That was too clever by half. Sold his teammate into trouble with a little skimming kick. Simpson is taken down on the outer side and will get a ball up. Maynard, relentless player in defence for Collingwood.
As good as Brodie Grunger is, just swim between the flags there, give it 50 metres, top of the goal square, too short.
Xavier Ellis for Seabus Super. There's going to be a free kick. A little bit of tripping going on. It's going the Cats' way. They'll come to this broadcast side to Guthrie. He can chip it over the top to Myers. This is better footy. Clark are waiting to come on the ground, so to Stephen for the Cats. We've got a 13-point lead for Collingwood. They're 2-2-14. Short pass is a good one to Dangerfield. The Cats just one behind. He plays on quickly, kicks dangerously into the middle of the ground. It'll be cut off. The hand pass from Hoskin Elliott wasn't good, but a free kick will go the Pies' way.
They play a high-risk, high-reward game, the Cats, and the kick from Dangerfield had to be spot on. It wasn't. Turn it over in a dangerous spot.
Varco receives the hand pass, kicks up towards the top of the 50. It'll come back into the hands of the Cats. Myers. Now Buse will kick on his left. It was a good one. Dalhouse on the wing. In fact, it was Colin Jasny who kicked that one. Dalhouse took the mark and then played on to Myers. It'll come back by hand to Dalhouse and he'll have to just kick down the line. Moore's the best position to take the mark. Radigalea came from behind to try and steal it off him. Ablett doing the grunt work. Gave it off to Dangerfield. His kick smothered and it rolls over the line. Check of the scoreboard. The Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology when it comes to water heating. Installer Ream. It's 13 points. That's the lead of Collingwood. 15.5 gone in this first term.
Valagi's on the ground too. Youngster who showed some form last week. Tossed in. Rucks go at it. Knocked down by Grundy. Comes back in his direction. Spills wide of the pack now. A chance for Parfitt. Slid into the legs of Quaymar. Grabbed in the pack by Adams, who kicks it back towards midfield. Real tough work down there. Now Myercheck again on the burst. Control the football. Goes to Main. Main sends it to the outer side. Running hard out there. The mark has been taken by Dacos. A little skimmer. It hit the chest of his leading player. That was Hoskin Elliott involuntarily and bounced off. Now O'Connor's in trouble on the outer side. They're skipping around this pack, a couple of them. All Collingwood, though, around the pack. It's taken by Dacos, gives it across to Phillips, and Phillips goes down towards half forward. And the mark has been taken just inside the boundary line. I think it might be Brown, who kicks it long down towards the suspense. It goes towards the boundary. We'll have a throw in. That's Callum Brown playing tonight, his brother not playing tonight.
Sorry, Pies now a +4 in the clearances and a +6 in the inside 50s on the Triple M stats.
And Joel Selwood did just wander off, and he's speaking to the doctors on the bench, which for a tough player he doesn't do too often.
Boundary throw in, knocked down by Radigalea, but taken by Myercheck. Now an opportunity for Varco. Hand passes back. Roughhead's got it. He's a long way up the ground. A tumbling punt down towards the forward line. Pendlebury roved the pack, tried to kick it around the corner. Now it's been taken out by a Geelong player. I suppose he had nowhere else to run. He was going towards the boundary and just grabbed the footy and kept on going. So right beside the behind post, a boundary throw-in. It's at Collingwood's end.
Still 13 points, Collingwood's lead for McDonald's. Triple M Rocks footy. Hope you're enjoying the action. Ball thrown in. Radigalea doing the ruck work to go fancy, but his hand pass doesn't come off. Pressure now on the Cats about 20 metres out from Collingwood's goal. The kick off the ground. Beats Varco. He'll go back to try and get it, Varco. Left half forward. He'll have to spin around and get it on his left, but he kicks straight to 3 Cats, and Parfitt has taken the mark. He'll hand it off to Dalhouse, and Dalhouse will kick it down the line. Oh. Coming in third man was Moore. He crashed the pack and sent the ball over the boundary line in front of Gary Ablett. Might check in soon with Tanya Armstrong for Bob Jane T-Marts. Bob Jane T-Marts, buy 3, get 1 free on selected Yokohama and Nitto 4x4 tyres. bobjane.com.au. 10 down on the boundary. Joel Selwood, some concerns there.
Yeah, he's certainly got some sort of worry. He had a long discussion with the doctors and the physio, then had his hamstrings worked on. He's now taken a seat in the dugout, unsure whether he's coming back on or not. He doesn't look comfortable.
Thanks, Dan. Collingwood leading by 13 points. Blixarves kicks it up towards the wing. Ablett had it momentarily, flicked it away quickly. Scrambling up there. Eventually the hand pass comes out nicely. Well played by DeGoey. Opportunity just forward of the centre for Treloar. Gives a hand pass to Elliott. Elliott fires one wide to Dacos again. An impeccable kick again to the advantage of his teammate. Couldn't take the mark. Recovers close to the boundary line. DeGoey paddles it on, but the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in, a run from the right-hand behind post at the city end of the ground.
Triple M Boss Tools replay. Just having a look at Joel Selwood. Definitely done his right hamstring. He pulled up really sharply. He's grabbing the jacket now. Will take no further part in the game.
Bosch Power, tools and accessories. Good, better Bosch.
Absolutely, Dan. Ball thrown back into play. Not really going anywhere. The Pies all over him at the moment. Brown or Dacos kicks inside attacking 50. Blixarves will pick up the footy and quickly get it to boot. It'll be okay. He was under all sorts of pressure and they'll relieve themselves here. The Cats there. Trailing at the moment by 13 points. Collingwood 2-2-14. The Cats just one behind. 19 and a half gone. As they send it down the far side of the ground. Pendlebury was there, read it best. He'll have to go back and get it though. Went through his hands. On the left he goes and kicks it straight into the hands of Tui though. So a bit of ping pong going on at the moment. And Tui will be okay. His short pass comes off. 13 points, Collingwood's lead.
Clark's got the ball on the outer side. Dogged by injury last year, certainly late in the season. Long ball down towards half forward, off hands, and it runs out of bounds.
So on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay, gents, Joel Selwood with the jacket on now. That doesn't look good, does it? That usually means not over.
No, and minus 18 in contested disposal, which is Joel's one wood. So someone needs to step up. Maybe Gary Ablett gets to spend more time in there, but they're getting absolutely dominated around the football.
Boundary throw in. Just plucking it was Fort. Gets a hand pass away to Parfitt. Parfitt a hurried kick inside the forward 50. Quainer gets across and takes the mark up from the back pocket. Plays on quickly. Short one. Goes to Moore. Moore just stabs it to a man standing outside the 50, about equidistant. And that's Treloar. Treloar goes short. So these short kicks just edging their way forward. Now Maynard has cast a shoe. It's Pendlebury, actually.
Just taking his time to put his shoe on.
Well, you got it.
Just controlling the game at the moment, the Pies. They know when to go quick, but at the moment, dying stages of the first quarter, they've dominated the contest, and now they're just looking at trying to use the footy.
Well, relaxed there by Collingwood. The short pass went to Adams. It bounced off his chest. It was all too easy, and as a result, a real chance for Geelong here. Myers sends the ball down towards the pocket. It was a missed kick of sorts. Quaynard leads back in the race and takes it out of bounds. Well, in fairness, the Collingwood captain, that's his kicking boot, so can't kick it in a sock. They were Geelong fans who were urging him on.
2-2-14. And there he is up on the big screen. Joel Selwood, jacket on. Looking very disappointed. We've only gone 21 minutes in this first quarter. Well done by Hawkins. He did the ruck work and the kicking, and it's landed in the hands of Clark. Big body, working hard.
I think Roughhead on that occasion tried to feign for a free kick in that contest, and Tom Hawkins just moved him 5 or 6 metres out of the contest. Wasn't strong enough. Tom Hawkins, with some class, provides a good opportunity for Geelong to kick their first.
Jordan Clark back into the team. The West Aussie had a great start to his career, then struck down by injury, sends it through the big sticks, and he's happy. Lots of high fives. The Cats have got a goal finally. They're 1-1-7. They trail the Magpies 2-2-14 on the Triple M Installer Room scoreboard. Let's head back to 10. Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, well, yet another hub hammy. Of course, they lost Mitch Duncan and Quinton Narkle last week, the Geelong Cats, with a hamstring. So not great news for Joel Selwood. He's taken a seat on the bench. He's got the tracksuit pants on, the top on, should I say, and he's got some ice on that right hamstring. So he is out of the game for the Cats.
Tommy Hawkins ranked one in the competition for goals, assists, and there's just another one. Just too good in that boundary throwing. Just pushed Roughhead out the way too easily for mine. And young Jordan Clark, good West Australian boy, went to Guildford Grammar, spent time at the Claremont Football Club, and he's a
Coached
beauty.
Him, did you?
He's a beauty. You spent a bit of time with him.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he was playing Colts footy. We got him into the league team, knowing that there was a fair chance he was going to get drafted. I know West Coast and Fremantle were keen to get him, but Geelong were even quicker.
Collingwood lead by 7 points then, approaching quarter time. And the same two in the middle, Fort and Grundy, and they fight again. One down by Grundy. Treloar, a hand pass over the shoulder. Pendlebury went to ground. Socket off the ground. Was sawed off by Wills. It struck a Geelong player. Ricochet. Parfitt picked it up. Hand passes to Minagola. He kicks it down towards half forward. Rattigalia stopped it, but it bounced off his shins. Goes towards the boundary. Ablett in pursuit. And he's tidy. He just stops the ball where it went out for the boundary umpire. We'll have a throw in. And how long to go now till quarter time? Not very long at all. What do we got there?
A little over a minute, Den.
Okay. I'll just do a little more and you bring them home. Tossed in.
You go for a minute, mate.
No. Knocked down in front by Fort. Hacked out of the air there. Crazy stuff by Wills. He centred the ball for Geelong. Now it's picked up by Noble. Quick hand pass away. Gave it to Treloar. Very high kick. They come from all directions. Blixarves played it well. Got a two-handed fister on it. Got it across towards a teammate there in Tui. Tui hooks it across his body. Loose ball inside the forward 50 here for Geelong. Barco gets across. Ablett tries to run him down. Kick to the wing. Phillips has got the run of it. They're near the logo. Coming at him has been a goal. Got him too. No easy tackle. The hand pass goes to O'Connor. Is there time for a late goal? Down goes O'Connor holding the football. Great stuff from Bossa Balagi. He came very quickly.
Chips it down the line, though. Might turn it over. The ball will be fisted away back into the hands of Phillips. He was caught without the footy. And he'll take the free kick. Goes against O'Connor. Phillips will drive it inside 50 in the last minute of play. No one can take the mark. Oscar Elliott slapped it forward. Straight to Blixarves, though. And his defensive half, he eases the pressure. Right on the siren. Great start by the Pies. They dominated the early stages. And then the Cats showed some fights. They worked themselves back into it. The Maggies 2-2-14. Geelong 1-1-7 for McDonald's. Triple M. Rocks footy.
That quarter for Ream. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology. When it comes to water heating, install a Ream.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Never miss a single goal with McDelivery. Available via the Uber Eats
Triple
app.
M's Hot Breakfast.
Hi, Teddy Maguire and the AFL's fixtures boss, Travis Auld, gave us an insight into the complexities of getting this season away.
Is that your plan now? Get as much away as quickly as possible?
What we do know is we've got to buy ourselves time. And so if we can condense when we've got the opportunity to condense, and feedback we're getting from clubs is that there's no good sitting around. If we're here, let's play.
If it happens in Melbourne, you'll hear about it on Triple M's Hot Breakfast.
Deactivate COVID-19 in 60 seconds with Dawson's Disinfecting and Sanitising. Call 9222 2222.
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
Hi, John Setka here. Thanks to all the construction workers still heading into work to build our city. This pandemic is not over, and we need to do more. Keep practicing safe distancing, wash your hands, and if you or anyone at home feels unwell, stay home and get tested. We can't stop now. Look after your mates, your family, the community, and stay safe. Let's keep our industry working, look out for each other, so we can lead the recovery of our nation.
Ooh, I got a double six.
Meet the Kings.
Hello. Hi.
They've developed a few new habits they'd like to keep.
More quality time with our family.
Less frustrating time with our bank.
Yeah. So they switched their home loan to Macquarie Bank, who specialise in rewarding good borrowers who've built up some equity with great home loans. Now they enjoy low fees, great rates and the flexibility to repay faster. Search Macquarie Home Loans or call your broker so you can say...
We bank with Macquarie. Yeah.
Macquarie Bank Australian Credit Licence 237502. Lending criteria, fees and T's and C's apply.
Harvey Norman stores are open, with teams practicing social distancing to keep our community safe. Purchase with 60 months interest free and receive a bonus gift card valued at up to $500. No deposit, no interest with 60 equal monthly payments until July 2025. Fridges, washing machines, air purifiers, laptops, home Wi-Fi, mattresses and sofa beds. Shop in-store or online with click and collect and delivery available. Minimum financed amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Harvey Norman have your essentials covered.
Unable to work and have been previously injured? Get legal advice before it's too late. Contact Shine Lawyers now to get the compensation you're entitled to. Free initial consultation, no win, no fee. Conditions apply. Call Shine Lawyers on 13 11 99.
At Choice Hotels, we know you don't always need a passport for the perfect holiday, especially when you live in this beautiful country. So if you're needing to reunite or re-energise, see the sights or see family, Choice Hotels is there. From planned getaways to surprise visits, with hotels across Australia, from Albury to Albany, Brisbane to Bendigo, and everywhere in between. Book direct at choicehotels.com for the lowest price guaranteed. Terms and conditions apply.
Oh, look, it's tricky. There's definitely a couple of different ways we could do it.
Well, if we did it your way, we'd need a backhoe, skid steer loader, and a heavy-duty trowel.
Yeah, and if we did it your way, we'd need a mini excavator, water pump, and a concrete grinder.
We might even need a scabber head too.
Ben, I think we need a pen.
A pen?
Yeah, to write it all down.
Maybe, boss, just go to the Coates Hire website.
Huh. Yeah.
Whatever you need, Coates Hire has a million pieces of equipment to make it happen. Search Coates Hire today.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor. IGA Liquor, proudly independent.
7 points the margin at quarter time here at Optus Stadium. It's the Magpies and the Cats going at it. 2-2-14 Collingwood. And the Cats are 1-1-7. We're in front of around 26,000 fans. Good to see. They're all evenly spread around the stadium, which is good signs, but good game of footy.
Good game of footy. Big story the first quarter, though, is the injury to Geelong's captain, Joel Selwood, just pulled up with that right hamstring. So we saw the Cats last week against the Brisbane Lions lose a couple of players early. They were resilient. They found a way. And I certainly felt early on, though, Collingwood just around the contest were a far lot stronger. They were prepared to put their head over it. They were first, and they got the game going their way. They were starting to win territory. They were getting the ball on the boot. But you just felt the last 7 or 8 minutes of that quarter, Geelong started to really match it with Collingwood X through the middle off the ground and at some of those stoppages and started to get their fair share inside forward 50. So whilst you felt like Collingwood had control, when you look at the score at quarter time, only a goal of difference, and I think it's on the back of what Geelong were able to do late in that first quarter to certainly match it with the Pies through that area of the ground.
Yeah, you're right, mate. There was plus 15 contested disposal Collingwood really early in the quarter, and it ended at 15. So they levelled up in that area. Grundy's going to dominate around the stoppages, so I don't see why Geelong aren't starting on an opponent and winning that one-on-one, because at the moment Pendlebury's had 11, Treloar's had 11, Adams has had 8. So they're getting first use and they're getting the ball going quickly. For Collingwood, they set up so well defensively. Myers has had 7 disposals as a half-forward flanker. He's getting up the ground, but all that's doing is allowing Collingwood to get a spare behind the football, making it really hard for Geelong to go down the line. If they take the half-forward into the midfield, into the congestion, they need to switch the ball and move it really quickly, because kicking it down the line, Hawkins is going to have a spare man in front of him all day. Ratugolea hasn't touched it. He's got a spare person in front of him. So they need to switch it, make the ground really big if they're going to play one up at the stoppages. Otherwise, go one-on-one around the ground, and then at least that way you're not giving Collingwood a spare, which they love defensively.
And you spoke about those contested possessions where they really started to get themselves back in the contest. And at one stage, the clearances were 8-1 in favour of Collingwood. Because Collingwood were harder at the contest, because they were first, you felt like they were on the move a little bit, and Geelong were just a little bit reactive, sitting on shoulders. But they started to change their position around stoppages, the Cats. They started to fight a little harder for mine around that front position. And that's why they started to win some of those contested possessions, started to win some of those clearances, and started to get the game going their way. So it's a crucial part of the ground, especially when there has been a little bit of rain. I think both sides have handled the conditions so far in the first quarter really well. But again, just that contest, whichever team starts to get ascendancy around there, we're seeing, ball goes inside forward 50. DeGoey's been important. Stevenson's sort of standing up as well. Mychak's always presenting, and then it goes down the other end, and Tom Hawkins starts to, get his opportunity. Yeah. So giving you whichever side a good look at the moment on the back of that midfield contest is crucial.
Obviously, no Joel, no Mitch Duncan, the 2 midfield stars, but they do have players, Dalhouse, Ablett, Jack Stephen, who have obviously played a lot of time in the midfield earlier on in their careers. It might be time for them tonight to put them back into the midfield, because we know they can do it. Dalhouse, premiership player, and Gaz is obviously a superstar, and Jack Stevens won a handful of best and first at St Kilda. They are A-grade talent in the midfield. They just might need to wind back the clock.
Comprehensive. Triple M, Seabus super special comments. Seabus, a super fund you can trust. Just saw on the TV, Pendles has already run 3.1 Ks.
I ran that this morning.
Did you?
I did it in 20 minutes. What do you do in 16? I'm not far off him.
3.1 Ks in the first quarter.
He did part of it without a boot.
Did he?
Well, he jogged up and got his boot. Remember, he lost his boot. I just tried to be smart.
All right. Well, you take over now. 2-2-14, the Magpies, the Cats 1-1-7 as we get the second term underway.
With umpire Chamberlain, tosses it high in the air, hooked down by Grundy. Fort goes after it, knocks it forward. In goes Main. He's tackled immediately. Down he goes. Ball underneath him, and the umpire says, "You hurt him, my ball."
Thank you.
Main really had no chance there in the tackle. Carried forward. Good umpiring. Dangerfield, who's been pretty quiet so far. Ball snatched away there by Collingwood. Wills was off with it, but it's coming back. It's going to be a Stephen free kick. Hughes outside him. He thought about laying the ball down in front of Hughes. Now he kicks it long towards right half forward instead. Ratugolea is buffeted out of the contest. The ball spills to the back. Quaymar left it behind, close to the boundary line, trying to keep it in as Myers. Tried to deflect it across towards a teammate in Dalhouse, but it crossed the boundary by then, so it'll be thrown in just outside the attacking 50 for Geelong.
7 points to margin. Minute gone in the second term. McDonald's, Triple M Rocks footy. We'll throw it back in. Right half forward for the Cats. Grundy gets to front position. Parfitt gathers and then a little kick off the ground by the Cats over the line and out of bounds by Simpson.
He was good last week, wasn't he?
Was.
So much of the ball. 15 hand passes.
Parfitt starting on ball at the moment with Selwood out of the game, so expect to see him spend a bit more time through the middle of the ground tonight.
A real challenge for him as throws it back in. Over the top was Fort. Ball just bobbling around. The hand pass came out towards Stephen. He's caught in the tackle and was caught holding the ball. He was slung afterwards, but in the end, it was a good tackle from Chris Main, who's 30 out from his defensive goal. That is dangerous. It'll be turned over. He kicked to a man at centre half forward. Now the hand pass. Dangerfield outside 50. Loads it up and hits the post. The standing start 55-metre kick was so close. 1-2-8 is the Cats. The Magpies 2-2-14. 2 minutes gone in the second term.
He certainly went for it, didn't he, with that kick. Sometimes I think when Dangerfield's kicking at goal, he's a little tentative. Not that time. He really unleashed it. And out of the back pocket, it's Noble. Long kick towards the wing. Kolajasny flies high. It's going against Fort. Free kick to Grundy. Advantage will be paid. Dacos has got it on the wing. He ran about 25 metres in the time it took to sort that lot out. Now it goes down high towards De Goey. Punched away by Taylor. Terrific defence. And the ball goes out of bounds right where the arc of the 50 meets the boundary. It's 1-2 Geelong, 2-2 Collingwood. Low scoring affair, but entertaining so far.
Did really well there, Harry Taylor. He got himself on De Goey. Wasn't the match-up, but just worked really hard to be able to get that fist in.
Fort knocked it down in front of himself and followed up. Tracked that ball towards the boundary. Scramble develops and the umpire will toss it up. About 60 metres out from Collingwood's attacking goal. They started very brightly, the Magpies. Rucks battle again. Fort hooked it down. Taken by Dangerfield on the left foot, screws it back very solidly, almost beyond right angles there as it runs out of bounds at the interchange gates. Got some purchase on the kick though. It went about 40 metres and they'll regroup and fight again right on the wing. Fort, wholehearted worker, played well against Brisbane. And De Goey averages mid-30s in hit-outs. Taps this one down from behind. Back heel cleverly out of there by Dangerfield. Over the top comes... It was Jordan, and the ball gets kicked towards the boundary line. It's gone out of bounds, so Clark was the fellow I was trying to get. Jordan Clark, who was in trouble.
Just watching the match-up between Pendlebury and Dangerfield at the moment at these contests. Dangerfield trying to work to the front position. Pendlebury just sitting on shoulders, and then it's been Dangerfield that's actually won the last two clearances.
4 minutes gone in the second, and it's a 6-point lead for the Magpies, but the Cats are the ones going inside attacking 50. Myers kicks it off the ground to the advantage of 2. He got a man running beside him in Buse. He gave it off to him. Outside 50, kicks to the dangerous Radagalia. Couldn't climb over the top of Moore and take the mark, and it rolls over the line for a throw-in. 15 around. In fact, probably closer than that. 10 around from Geelong's goal.
At some of these stoppages, when you do have Grundy's dominance, Collingwood are getting a little bit fancy, whereas Dangerfield just see ball, get ball at the moment. It's working well.
Ball thrown in. Hawkins was doing the ruck work. No one could get a tap to it. Went over the top of the ruckman. Pies through Phillips with a clearing kick out towards the boundary. Kicked off the ground by Kolajasny, and we'll throw it in 60 around as it rolled over again.
Darcy Moore again tonight's been solid. Just in the air, just his ability to be able to know when to mark or know when to spoil. He's used the footy well. He'd have to be in All-Australian form for mine.
Never miss a single goal with McDelivery, available via the Uber Eats app. The ball thrown back into play. The Pies through Treloar, get a hand pass away, but Guthrie's there to steal it. Gave it to Ablett. His kick inside attacking 50 will bounce again to Hawkins. Very fancy from Hawkins. He gave it to Myers, but the tackle was even better by Crisp. Gave off a hand pass to Moore, to Treloar. Chain of hand passes sees Phillips gather and then kick into the middle of the ground. But plenty of numbers for the Cats, and they'll resist the temptation to kick it forward. In fact, they'll come to this broadcast side, and Clark should gather under pressure. And he was caught in a tackle, and the ball comes out of his hands. We'll throw it in just forward of the wing, heading towards the Pies end of the ground, and they lead it right now by 6 points, 5 gone in the second term.
How many goals?
Geelong now winning the clearances 6-1 and 4-0 in the inside 50s in the second quarter so far. So turning around both those stats.
At the boundary throw and knocked down by Grundy. Taken there by Adams, who kicks it down towards half forward. Off hands and the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in just outside the attacking 50 then for Collingwood.
And on the back of Beast's stats, 6-1 in this quarter in favour of Geelong, just to change their starting positions around. In the first quarter, they were reactive, they were sitting on shoulders. Now they're first. That's the reason why they're starting to get on top here.
Grundy did well, got in front of Fort, tapped it up in the air though, and Fort got it. Ball comes to Phillips, hanging off the pack, hooks it down towards full forward, off hands, taken by Buse, accelerates away with the football, kicks it back towards the wing. Phillips in best position, dropped the mark for Collingwood though. Menengola got a hand pass over the top to Dalhouse. Now Myers is in trouble. He's a terrific tackler, Treloar, had him on the ground, but the ball spilt out, taken there by Guthrie, gave it to Dangerfield. Rattigalia takes the mark 40 metres away, just forward of the wing. Dangerfield falling to the ground. It was a well-directed kick. Long ball inside the forward 50 now. 4 players meet at the football. Loose ball at the back. Hawkins heard a voice. Thumped it across towards Clark. Can't break the second tackle. Terrific stuff by Maynard. Brought him down. And it's a free kick to Collingwood. Well, Clark didn't know who he was messing with there. Maynard's having a terrific season.
Good pressure by the Pies, I reckon. Treloar was stiff before, should have been holding the ball to Collingwood, but they got the second one because their pressure and their persistence has been great.
Bit of holding on as Maynard clears the kick from outside his defensive 50. Grundy will take the free, a little bit of holding on. So it's Collingwood 2-2-14, Geelong 1-2-8, 7.5 gone in the second term. On the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard, IGA Liquor proudly independents.
Have to switch this. He's going to go down the line. It's going to be picked off short.
Is that far enough, Dennis?
No.
Surely that's not far enough.
Well, I heard the
pass
call.
Went to Crisp.
It was called play on, but then it wasn't holding the ball.
Yeah, that's right. Now to Adams, to Phillips. Caught in a tackle. Hand pass is good to Stevenson. He hand passes to a man under all sorts of pressure. Brought down by Dangerfield. Geelong trying to step up the tackling now. Ball on the wing, broadcast side. Ablett gathers. He's caught in the tackle. Somehow gets it to Dangerfield, who was thrown to the turf. Guthrie tried to keep it in play. Gave it to Chris. Great hand pass from Phillips to Stevenson. They're out here. The short pass will be a good one. No. Tapped out of the hands of Dacos. Over the top of the footy again. Dacos does well. In fact, it was Brown who gave it to Varco, to Elliott. His kick inside attacking 50 to go. He can't take the mark. Fisted away. Taylor's there to try and save the day. Handed it to Menengola. He was caught in a tackle, holding the ball. Varco plays on quickly. Myercheck attacks it real hard. Couldn't take the mark. Somehow it comes to Brown, to Dacos. Famous names combined. Goal Collingwoods. 40 metres out. The snap was great. And the Pies have kicked their thirds. 3-2-20, Geelong 1-2-8 on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. And for McDonald's, Triple M rocks footy in Perth.
Don't want to harp on it. We've mentioned this guy already tonight, Brodie Myercheck. That ball came in. All he had to do was compete. He did more than that. He absolutely crashed the pack. He's limping around at the moment with what looks to be a cork. But without that effort, that ball doesn't come to ground. And Dacos gets the rewards with a fantastic finish. But if it wasn't for Myercheck, who really put his body on the line, didn't try and mark it, just tried to bring it down, took Kolodjasny's body too, who limped off in a massive contest. Fantastic goal.
Another player real impressed with DeGoey though. Just before that, competed inside forward 50, didn't mark it, but I tell you what, his follow-up chase and tackle to win the footy back for the Pies was outstanding.
So we're back in the centre. And someone turned up the volume on this game about 5 minutes ago. They're really going in now. Rucks go at it. Fort hooks it down behind and then soccers it forward. It's in the air down towards centre half forward. Charging through is Ablett. Left the football behind. Quaynard picked it up. Hand pass from Crisp. Now it's with Grundy. Loops it over the top and they've got runners. Hand pass from Pendlebury. Found Treloar. Kicks to a one-on contest. Punched away by the defender. Ball runs free. Taken now and cleared by Henry as he just sends it out towards the boundary. Laconic as he moved through that pack. No urgency at all. And the ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in about 75 metres around from the behind post, right full forward pocket, southern end. the end to which Collingwood are kicking.
Well, some stars having a big impact on the game now for both sides. Treloar now with 16 disposals and Dangerfield with 6 this quarter, 12 for the game now, 3 clearances for him, and Treloar has the 5 clearances on the Triple M stats.
Grundy, big fist away, sends it inside the forward 50 for his side. Coming through is Brown, tried to hand pass out of the pack, it wouldn't go. Picked up by Guthrie, who kicks it 15 metres or so. It was a tentative sort of kick. Grundy, though, dropped the mark but follows up quickly, applies a strong tackle. Fort goes down, trying to lend some weight to it. Ablett somehow emerged with the football, got a quick kick away. On the outer side, Clark has a runner alongside Myers. Well, Clark went and fetched his own hand pass. Kicks it up towards the wing. Radagalia's in front. Can't control the football, it's knocked away, and it goes out of bounds. Well played, Moore.
Collingwood's pressure just gone up another level at the moment. Just their ability to be able to hunt and put pressure on the ball carrier, put pressure on receivers. They've been very, very good in this quarter.
Andrew Embley for Seabus Super as the ball gets thrown back into play, far side of the ground. Little fumble from Grundy. Dacos will gather. He's full of confidence now. His hand pass not so great. Cut off by Meningolda. Gathered by Noble. He replaced Cox in the side. He kicks it down the line to Goey. Fancy hand pass over the top, although his teammate was caught. It was Brown running off, thinking he was off to the races and running to the 50, and it was a great tackle by Buse. And at left half back, he'll slow things down. The tackling has been enormous in this second term. And the high kick is a long one. Up to the wing, fisted away by Radagalia. Ablett will get there first. Quaynor's on him. Ablett just gathers and slaps it on the left. Inside 50. And Hawkins, is he taking the mark? No, he hasn't. Had a couple of goes at it. Fell to the ground with the pressure coming from behind. Thus the booze, and the ball rolls over and we'll throw it into play.
Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Wouldn't mind checking that out. Really looked like that. Tom Hawkins' arms were chopped in that marking contest.
The McDonald's Triple M Rocks footy. We've got a beauty in Perth at Optus Stadium between the Cats and the Pies. And the fist away goes to the boundary again. Collingwood 3-2-20. Geelong 1-2-8. 12 and a half, nearly 13 minutes gone.
So the boundary throw in, right where the arc of the 50 meets the boundary. Hawkins doing the ruck work against Grundy. Grundy taps it down in front. Ablett goes after it. It squirts out of the pack. Dacos a hand pass and a good one to Noble. Noble comes across the ground. This will be interesting. Race back towards the boundary. Trying to keep it in as Maynard. Sockers it off the ground. He angled the kick up towards the wing. In goes Main. Down goes Main. Gathered now and kicked forward by Tui. Put onto the chest of Crisp. Crisp just outside the defensive 50 wants to go. Sees the numbers on the outer side. So does Pendlebury. Sends the kick in that direction. Grundy. To go, he's peeling off. To go, he is wanting it deep now. They've delayed it too long. On the low go, Grundy changes his mind. Goes to Wills. Wills a short pass. And the kick is taken by Brown. All's well that ends well. Brown wants to go short. Stevenson's going to be hit hard. He was hit hard, but it didn't dislodge the footy. O'Connor was coming at him, took some of the body, but that was a very good mark.
Sometimes as a defensive unit, you feel like you're best running back to goal as fast as you can to try and help out. Geelong on that occasion, they need to push up to the football. Yeah, it feels risky. You feel like you're nude behind the ball, but in that instance, Collingwood just went chip, 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 and we saw O'Connor had a chance to spoil, couldn't, but that was their one opportunity to stop the chipping chain.
So it's the Magpies by 12 points. A chance to increase that. This kick's a shocker. It doesn't get the distance, and it wanders to the left full forward pocket, where the marker's been taken down there by Fort. Goes to the outer side of the ground. A couple of Cats out there. Henry's got the football. Goes short, and the mark is taken by Menegola. But the Magpies across quickly. They've closed things down. It needs to be short again or back across the ground, I would think. Now he's going to a contest, a high ball up to the wing. Grundy was there, carried under the ball, and it's going to be a free kick to Grundy. That's good when they give him a name. So, all yours, Grundy. So he's looking down towards half forward now. Very slow takeoff, but no one goes with him, so he decides to have a bounce, if you don't mind, Grundy. Drives a long one inside the forward 50, climbing above that pack. The ball is fisted towards the line. It was Henry who got a fist on it.
Talked about that tackle count, 18 already for the Pies this quarter. They're sitting on 33 for the game, averaging 48 this season, so it gives you a sense of how ferocious they are being on the Triple M stats.
Boundary throw in, right full forward pocket, Collingwood's end. Down behind the pack, that ball runs a long way untouched. Dalehouse did brilliantly. Tackled though, the hand pass came unglued. Varco, hand passes back to Wills, gives it to a teammate there on the other side. He kicked into an oncoming player, so it came directly back at him, and he's got it again, the young fella, trying to work his way through. Now I've lost his name.
It was Parfitt. Now to Myers, and they'll kick it inside, attacking 50, but goes straight into the hands of Moore for Collingwood. Runs across his defensive 50. They lead it at the moment by 12 points. Goes by hand to Crisp, and Crisp will come towards this broadcast wing. Beautiful kick. Stevenson landed on his chest. They're running forward. They're streaming forward. Stevenson's kick inside, attacking 50. Lots of holding on going on. Gathering it, though, is Dangerfield. Does well. His hand pass, though, will put Menengola under pressure. Shrugged off the tackle, somehow got rid of it. Went into the hands of Dangerfield, and his quick kick to the wing was marked by Ratugolea.
Just got to slow things down here, the Cats. They're just losing their structure ahead of the footy. And Collingwood's pressure at the moment of forcing Geelong to kick quickly. That's where Collingwood are actually setting up behind the footy and winning it back.
Well, he's kicked it straight to Pendlebury, who fumbled the mark. Hawkins tried to kick off the ground. Well done, Varco. Gave it to Moore. Now Roughhead put him under all sorts of pressure. This is great pressure from Geelong. Charging forward, Myers gives it to Parfitt. 15 out, snaps round the corner. Is that a goal? No, he's missed. Just went to the left-hand side of the goal post. The pressure was good, the kick not so. 1-3-9, the Cats. Collingwood 3-2-20. 17 gone in the second term here in the West.
They bring it out short. Couple of kicks, finds Main on the boundary. In that right back pocket, sends it out towards the wing. Kolajasny drops a simple mark, follows up and knocks it out of bounds.
Obvious skill error on that occasion by Kolajasny dropping a chest mark. But you can see Embers, this long down the line stuff. Both sides are managing to get a spare now. They're going to have to be a little bit more creative, and potentially you saw more run across the field before. Just open the ground up, run laterally.
Boundary throw in. Grundy from behind Ford again, won the tap. Dangerfield took a swing at it, didn't touch it. Wills has got it. Hand passes to Main. Now the players want to stop. It's going to be a Collingwood free. And Main realised there was no point going on there. Nothing was on. Adams getting a free kick. He was slowly up to his feet. Goes short to Stevenson. He kicks it towards centre half back, and they work it across the ground. Maynard finds Moore. Moore's at left half back. That name I was chasing a while ago, Lockie, was Quaynar, so you saved me. I was chasing the wrong bloke. Stevenson, hand passes across to it. It's the subconscious, just tells you it's wrong, but you don't know what the alternative is.
Here's an interesting name.
Oh, there's Quaynar. He's got the ball as if on cue. Oh, that's outstanding. Kicks it down towards the pocket, and the mark has been taken down there by De Goey, and that mark was outstanding. Body on body, kicks it across his body. Not a difficult kick, but a wonderful piece of work. He's got his second, and suddenly Collingwood have got a bit of a break in this one.
Concerns for mine at the moment, X. On transition at the moment, the Cats just want to fall back. They've got to get up, and they've got to actually make Collingwood kick to a contest, because at the moment Collingwood are controlling the football. They're moving it quick, they're making the ground big, and at the moment they're winning in one-on-ones, and they're pushing the ball inside forward 50 really quickly, and at the moment it's putting the Geelong defenders under a lot of pressure. And sometimes too, Embers, when you get a bit older, you fold back and think you're reading the game really well. You can see there Collingwood from the back pocket, switch, and then opened up through the corridor, and when you're one-on-one, Jordan De Goey's going to take more of those marks than drop. Harry tried his absolute hardest, but a perfect kick to space, and he's a highly skilled player, and that's all they need to do, and they're going to probably win this game if they do keep switching, because their skill level is fantastic tonight. It's almost a dry ball, so they can take it on, they can switch, and I think Geelong almost need a mirror of what Collingwood are doing. Press up, and then when they do get the opportunity, don't go back down the line.
The voice of Xavier Ellis, Premiership star with the Hawks for Seabus Super, a super fund you can trust, and out of the middle we come again. The high kick. Ablett gathers. No, has a fumble. Now under pressure. Gets the hand pass away to Dangerfield. He's under all sorts of pressure. Ratugolea finds a path to get it to Ablett. Oh, little sidestep from Gary. That was him at his absolute best. Kicks it inside, attacking 50. Parfitt gathers, but then was tackled and lost possession. Maynard working hard for the Pies. He was knocked over as he tried to bend down and pick it up. Well played by Parfitt. Hand pass to the ground, bounced up in the direction of Myers, and then he fumbled it over the line. 49 around from the Cats' goal. 10 on the boundary, Bob Jane T-Marts.
Yeah, small crowd tonight. Well, it's big for what we've known, which has been none, but they're very, very loud, and it's pretty much split down the middle. Some Eagles fans sitting behind me said they're barracking for Collingwood, which I find hard to believe, but they said everyone else is barracking for Geelong, so they picked a team.
Okay, ball thrown back in. Fist up. Myers tried to kick off the ground, went straight to Crisp though. His kick didn't go very far, went in fact to Phillips, and he quickly kicks it outside his defensive 50, but taking the mark is Simpson. 10 being looked after by Bob Jane T-Marts. By 3, get 1 free on selected Yokohama and Nitto 4x4s. As the kick goes inside 50, Ablett played for the free kick. He didn't get it. Hawkins on the boundary, kicks it dangerously in the middle of the attacking 50. Main's there to gather though. Gives it off to Crisp on the left. Finds Adams. He's outside his D50 now and kicks it along the wing. In front, Brown gathers. Goes back by hands. They're running into a little bit of trouble now as the kick comes back in the direction of Crisp, who started it all from the defensive half. And it is now 4-2-26 to 1-3-9. The Magpies in charge, Den.
Crisp finds Treloar. Hand passes off to Noble. Kicks it down towards half forward. Marked by Phillips. Short pass inside the forward 50. And Jamie Elliott comes up and takes the mark. The man on the mark is about 4 metres inside the 50-metre arc. Opens itself up for a right footer here. Not beyond him, Elliott. When he gets onto one, they stay got. 4-2-26, 1-3-9.
Collingwood speed on the outside now really starting to concern the Cats. Their pressure at the contest has been outstanding, but once they move and get outside the bubble, they switch the play, and Geelong just can't go with the Pies at the moment.
In comes Elliott then. Kick is on the way. He starts it wide right. It's not coming back. Ratugolea was up to punch away. Around the pack, though, it's Main. He's missed. He was scooting around in front. He came from nowhere, Main. Left foot did miss, so another behind to Collingwood's lead.
The Cats will come to this broadcast side, right half back, and Clark's taking the mark on the chest. Desperately in need of a goal. They've only got less than a minute to do it, though. The kick along the line will be fisted over by Roughhead, the big tall defender of the Pies, and will throw it in wing position.
Worth noting too, the Cats have not won a second quarter in 2020 lock so far on the Triple M stats.
So 3 goals to none. Beast, Mark Cometti, looking after the stats in this second term in favour of the Magpies. Ball thrown in. Fort got the tap down. Comes out towards Stephen, who needs to step up his game. Little hand pass to Guthrie was good from Dalhouse. Now it'll come back towards Stephen. Can lob one over the top. Time ticking away. The Master, the little Master, kicks inside 50, but he's kicked straight to a diving defender of the Magpies, and it's rolled over the line. We'll throw it back into play.
Just couldn't find the target there. Gary Ablett, just look at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay before, though. That sidestep that he did on Elliott was just fantastic. He's an absolute genius, isn't he, the little Master?
I got what I need out of tonight's game.
Bosch Power Tools and Accessories, good bit of Bosch. As the ball gets thrown back into play, Dalhouse gathers. They desperately needed that, but he's pushed it straight across the face and will throw it in 5 metres around from the Cats' goal.
And that was their chance, wasn't it, X? Just before half-time. It's certainly been Collingwood's quarter. They win a good boundary throw-in, and Dalhouse was on the move, and he kicked that every second or third time. He should have done better.
10 seconds remaining to the half. Grundy gets the tap down. The hand pass comes to Main. He gave it to Adams, caught in the tackle. Ablett gives it to Myers right on the goal line. He couldn't get the kick away.
Hang on.
And then Moore kicked it out of bounds. Will it be deliberate? Because if it is, they might have a crack at it. No, I don't think it is going to be. X, what do you reckon?
No, I think the siren, if the siren sounded 2 or 3 seconds later, deliberate. Saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell. Half time. The Cats with some work to do. The Maggies are looking the goods. They're 4-3-27. Geelong 1-3-9 for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
That quarter for IGA Liquor. IGA Liquor, proudly independent.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Never miss a single goal with McDelivery. Available via the Uber Eats app.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
Hi, it's Eddie Maguire. Right now, it's Geelong
Dangerfield
up against the mighty Pies. Tomorrow morning on Triple M's Hot Breakfast, we'll have all the news from tonight's game. And Tom Brown will have all the big stories leading into the rest of round 7.
Anything comes up during the morning, I'll be the first to tell you.
Remember, if it happens in Melbourne, Melbourne or on the footy field, you'll hear about it first here on Triple M's Hot Breakfast.
Deactivate COVID-19 in 60 seconds with Dawson's Disinfecting and Sanitising. Call 9222 2222.
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
July is Sea-Doo's in-house boat show month. Come and see the entire Sea-Doo lineup and discover why Sea-Doo is still Australia's #1 choice in personal watercrafts. Bring the family. We have the lot, from watercrafts to trailers to safety equipment to get you up and sea-dooing. Come in and see us soon, as these boat show month specials must finish July 31st. See things differently. Visit seadoo.com to find your local dealer. Play nicely, snow melts in water and social distancing is more fun anyway.
Ready to get 25 gigabytes for just $35 a month? Now that's a data deal we can all get behind. With Vodafone, you'll get 10 gigabytes of data, a whopping 15 gigabytes of bonus data, and a $5 discount every month for 12 months on our $40 SIM-only Plus plan. And with 25 gigabytes a month, you can post and scroll and watch and listen and dance. Ready? New connections only for use in Oz. Ends July 30, 2020. T&C apply.
Hi, John Setka here. Thanks to all the construction workers still heading into work to build our city. This pandemic is not over, and we need to do more. Keep practicing safe distancing, wash your hands, and if you or anyone at home feels unwell, stay home and get tested. We can't stop now. Look after your mates, your family, the community, and stay safe. Let's keep our industry working, look out for each other, so we can lead the recovery of our nation.
At CommBank, we know that your home loan is the last thing you'd want to think about if the worst were to happen to a loved one. So if you, your spouse or child passes away or falls terminally ill, we'll pay your owner-occupied home loan for around 12 months. So you can focus on what matters most. No fees, no sign-up. Search Home Loan Compassionate Care. At CommBank, we hope you never need it, but we'll be there if you do. And we can, together. Age and loan eligibility requirements and other limitations and exclusions apply.
Imagine picking up a free barista-made coffee every day for a year. Drive through to your local McCafe today, grab a smooth, delicious coffee, and you could be the winner at your local McCafe. Ends 23rd July 2020. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecomp for full terms. Excludes McDelivery.
It's up to us all right now to support Aussie-made products and Aussie-owned businesses. But where do we look? Well, Buy Aussie Now is Australia's first one-stop shop to showcase all locally made products. Let's support our friends and families in these tough times. Register at buyaussienow.com.au. That's buyaussienow.com.au. Keep jobs in Australia. We can all make a difference.
On McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
3-0 in that second term. Meant it was 4-3-27 for Collingwood, and the Cats won 3-9 at half-time. We're at Optus Stadium, and yes, it is Collingwood versus Geelong in WA. Quite amazing, but it's been a big week. Of course, the two teams, gents, came to WA, and they're in the middle of their 14-day quarantine. I asked Embers last week, how would the 2006 team go in quarantine? Now, what about your star-studded Hawks? What would have they been like in quarantine?
Well, I would have loved to have seen the 06 team in quarantine. I absolutely would have loved to have been a fly on the wall there. But, no, 08, we were young, very, very young. So it wouldn't have surprised me if a couple of players, number 23, probably might have snuck outside the four walls potentially back in the day. So
allegedly believed
you potentially could have. So, no, we would have had a lot of fun. We would have had a lot of fun.
And obviously Collingwood are feeling pretty good about themselves. They stay up in Geelong. It's quite ironic. So Geelong, when they're back in Victoria playing games at the MCG, they'll travel down 45, 50 minutes down the highway. They go into the MCG, and obviously Collingwood players will take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it takes. But here, they're 2 minutes away at Crown Resorts.
That's right.
And it's the Pies who are doing all the travelling.
Well, the Pies play the away games when they have to travel to Etihad, don't they?
That's right.
Leave the MCG, which it's very stiff to do that.
That's a long journey down there.
They are at Joondalup at the moment. It's a beautiful part of the world, Joondalup, for those people that don't know. Lovely couple of golf courses up there. So they're enjoying their time at the moment, and they've come to play. I think their pressures has been outstanding. And there was moments early in that second quarter quarter where Geelong started to really even up the contest. But for mine, just Collingwood's ability to be able to put pressure on. So when Geelong won the footy or won the clearances, they weren't great clearances because they were able to nullify the quality clearances that they were getting. And the Pies were setting up well behind the footy. Cats at times lost their structure. Their forwards were getting a bit high. And that kick quick from stoppages landed in the arms of Collingwood. And then from what we saw, the Pies are prepared to switch. They're prepared to go quickly and move it really fast. And they're doing that with speed of foot. They're taking the game on. They're getting good run from behind. And then we saw the Cats starting to fall back. They weren't actually putting pressure on ball carrier, which allowed Collingwood to be able to control the game in that second quarter. Then they've got options inside forward 50. De Goey's starting to look dangerous. Elliott's there. Mychek's presenting at the football. So whilst the Cats showed a little bit early, the Pies through that pressure and then quick ball movement are really starting to catch the Cats out.
Yeah, term used, Embers, as a defender. If in doubt, bomb it out. Well, Geelong need to stop doing that. They need to hold their nerve and try and find even a 15-metre pass just to get a bit of breath, and then they can set up a little bit because Collingwood's set up down the line is far too good at the moment. They're beating Geelong at their own game. Collingwood, they're beating them in marks, which is Geelong number one in the competition, plus 41 uncontested disposals on a night where we thought it was going to be wet. Well, conditions are nearly perfect out there. They might be a little bit greasy, but they're moving the ball pretty well. Geelong, as you said, they're folding back towards goal, and sometimes you think you equal with the ball. The only time I'm going to get to it is if I sprint back to the goal square. It's the wrong option against Collingwood. You've got to get up in their face. You've got to stick your tackles, and you've got to stop them sharing the ball so well. Dangerfield bought in that quarter. He's only going at 38% disposal efficiency, but he's throwing his body in there and getting it going forward. I feel like Hawkins needs a bit of a hand up front. They're double teaming at times in terms of getting one to drop off when a high half forward gets involved. So Gary Rowland, 3 disposals. When Gary Rowland's good, he's very good, but I reckon when he's bad, he's near invisible. Haven't seen him tonight, so maybe that's where they can get the lift from inside 50.
And if Cats want to move the ball quickly from the contest, that's fine, but they've got to hold their structure forward of the footy. And what's happening at the moment, Rowan's getting up the ground a bit. Gary Ablett's getting up the ground a little bit. So that quick kick's coming out, and Collingwood are holding that structure. They're the ones that are able to win their football. So Geelong have to make it more one-on-one inside their forward half. I think that's the most important thing in this third quarter. But then on transition, they've got to defend better. They can't fold back like they've been doing. They need to put more pressure on the Collingwood ball carrier at the moment, because at the moment what we're seeing is that time and time again, no pressure on the ball carrier. They've got time to find targets. And their foot skills tonight, even in these wet conditions, and mind you, we haven't had a great deal of rain during the game. We've certainly seen a lot of it before. They're still being able to find targets and use the footy really well.
If you're Geelong, what are you changing at half-time? What would Chris Scott be saying right now? Or would they say, we need to play our way, which we're not doing?
Well, they've got to take the game on. But again, for mine, they just got to get that structure piece right forward of the football, because they are winning some clearances. They've been able to even that particular part of the game up. Collingwood's pressure has been good. So Geelong aren't going to be able to feed the ball out and think they can run away from these stoppages. So if they do kick the ball quickly, they need to have a target. They need Hawkins, which is presenting really well, having a good matchup with Roughhead, but they need other players alongside him not to get sucked up and actually compete. So at least to be able to lock some football inside their forward half.
Yeah, Myers, 12 disposals, Gaz, 10 disposals. Looks good on paper and in theory, but those disposals will be in the back half or away from their opponent and giving that plus to Collingwood. I mean, if they get 5 or 6 disposals between each other, but they're damaging inside 50, inside their forward half, it'll make a massive difference to Geelong.
Never miss a single goal. Get all your Macca's favourites, from a Big Mac to their iconic fries, delivered to your home with McDelivery. Available via Uber Eats app. Check the Macca's website for delivery locations. Big news, Joel Selwood out of this game, out very early in the first quarter. Hamstring's a huge problem for the stars of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wonder how it can happen so early in a game. They've been over here in the hub. He would have been so excited to be back in front of a crowd. In good form, Joel, too. Last season spent time on the wing. Realised that probably wasn't for him. Back inside the contest. To lose him early, not only are you going to lose him for a couple of weeks, but you're a man down on the interchanges, short quarters. You just put Dangerfield in there. And as I said at quarter time, you've got Dalhouse, Ablett and Stephen, who have all played great football in the midfield. I think if their work rate needs to lift, and it probably needs to be in the midfield.
We might talk about Nat Fyfe's hamstring injury after a short break.
I reckon he might have come back a little bit too early.
Maybe.
Lucky.
Amy clangers happen on and off the field. Lucky you're with Amy. Let's have a listen to a clanger.
Crisp and nice-looking kick. Myatt to the run of De Goey. De Goey looks down towards goal. Overrated. He kicks it down towards the pocket. Shocking kick. close to the behind line, although it was coming back with a bit of bias, like a lawn bowl. He's a genius.
He's kicked two. Jordan De Goey, and look at the great man, the AFL Hall of Famer. So we're battling away, earning our money here in the box, trying to keep everything, on board. And there's Dan on the big screen, just having a chat on 7.
Well, he got out of here as soon as he called De Goey overrated. He's probably been best on ground the first half. So, I mean, who knows? Footy's a strange game. There's another half to go, but at the moment, De Goey's been pretty good with 2 goals.
We'll give you all the team changes after a short break. It is half-time here in the West. It's Collingwood 4-3. 27, Geelong 139 for McDonald's. Triple M rocks footy.
Footy lives 24/7 and so does Triple M Footy. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
On Melbourne's 105.1, Triple M rocks footy.
Shut up! The footy's on Triple M!
In times like these, you need people to step up.
I think if Australia's going to get back on track, we need more hardness. I like myself.
And the Friday Huddle has always got your back.
I'm right behind you.
I know you're not behind me.
No,
because as you've heard a million times,
we're all in this together.
So I've got great respect for Damo, just not at the moment.
Howie, Das, Juddy, Brownie and Damo are your Temper Mattress call team for the Bombers and Doggies tomorrow from 6.
For McDonald's,
Triple M rocks footy.
If you're craving the taste of your favourites, head to Macca's for a fast, safe and contactless drive-through experience. For your Macca's run, contact-free, we'll be here.
If you've been injured at work, you may be entitled to compensation and a range of benefits. With over 50 years' experience, Arnold Thomas and Becker lawyers have the expertise to provide you with the advice you need to get the best possible outcome for your workers' compensation claim. And if you don't win, there's no fee. Speak to an Arnold Thomas and Becker lawyer today via their new Telelaw phone service. Call 1300 3333 00.
July is Sea-Doo's in-house boat show month. Come and see the entire Sea-Doo lineup and discover why Sea-Doo is still Australia's #1 choice in personal watercrafts. Specials must finish July 31st. Visit seadoo.com to find your local dealer.
Whilst everything has come to a standstill, the need for blood hasn't. And that's because serious illnesses and big life events like giving birth don't stop just because everything else has. Blood only lasts 42 days, and Australia still needs 29,000 donations every week. That means the need for new donors is constant. If you're feeling well, Australian Red Cross Lifeblood needs to see you now. We're still open, and you're essential. Give life, give blood. Search Give Blood to book your donation today.
Hi, Howie here. The Howie Games podcast is where sport's biggest names tell their stories. In-depth, emotional and uplifting. I talk with stars like Mr. Cricket himself, Mike Hussey, Socceroos royalty, Johnny Aloisi, and the conqueror of some of the world's biggest waves, Garrett McNamara. Now's the time to listen. Search the Howie Games podcast. Listen for free at podcastoneaustralia.com.au or download the app.
Podcast 1.
Harvey Norman stores are open, with teams practicing social distancing to keep our community safe. Purchase with 60 months interest free and receive a bonus gift card valued at up to $500. No deposit, no interest with 60 equal monthly payments until July 2025. Fridges, washing machines, air purifiers, laptops, home Wi-Fi, mattresses and sofa beds. Shop in-store or online with click and collect and delivery available. Minimum financed amount $1,000. Approved applicants only. Interest applies if you do not comply with terms and conditions. Fees and exclusions apply. Harvey Norman have your essentials covered.
There's never been a more important time to protect you, your family and other Victorians. At Chemist Warehouse, we're here to help. That's why we've stocked our stores with plenty of hand sanitizer, antibacterial hand wipes and hand wash, touchless infrared thermometers and a wide range of face masks. We've also made it easier for you to shop safely with our click and collect in-store service, online shopping and our new contact-free home delivery. Chemist Warehouse, we're always here for you.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for Rheem. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology. When it comes to water heating, install a Rheem.
Joel Selwood a casualty in the first quarter of this game between Collingwood and Geelong. And the Pies lead at 4-3-27, playing 1-3-9, so they'll have to do it without their inspirational skipper. Let's take a look, gents. Xavier Ellis and Andrew Emberley joining us for this halftime break before we get this second half underway. A few ins and outs across the competition. And for Essendon, of course, Dylan Shield is suspended. A big in for the Bulldogs. Cody Waitman will make his debut, and a big out. Toby McLean, premiership player, has been omitted, which is an interesting one.
Yeah, it is. Dylan Shield was all the talk of the town for the Brownlow too. At some stage, was having a great season at Essendon, so he's going to have to serve his penance. But you're right, the Bulldogs, their mix, it's a strange one at the moment. When they're good, they're great. When they're poor, they are atrocious. So, I mean, it's hard to get a good read on the Bulldogs.
We might catch up with Joel Selwood in just a moment. A couple of outs for GWS. Callum Ward and Tom Green, the youngster, has been omitted. I thought he was going to be a Jet. I thought he might win the Rising Star. Yeah. He's having a rest now.
When it came out and said T Green, I thought, oh, geez, Toby Green's been dropped. The wrong Green.
Toby Green's 150th this week. I thought he would have been around 200, Toby, so there's probably been a few little weeks off that he's had with a couple of indiscretions. My favourite player in the competition, Toby Green.
Absolutely. Aliir and Callan Sinclair back in for the Swans. Isaac Kennedy, of course, injured. Josh Kennedy also injured, and he's out for Sydney. Looking down the page, the Tigers, no change. North Melbourne, Jack Zeeble is back in, which is good news for them. Callum Moore, Sam Phillip and Zach Fisher will come in for Carlton, and a bit of an extended bench for Port Adelaide. Brad Ebert is out suspended, of course. And the Hawks, your team, X-Man, Jonathan Patton injured. They get back Sean Burgoyne. He's a pretty handy addition.
Fantastic inclusion, Shawnee. Not sure how long he's got to go, so a bit like Gaz. Great to watch him. And Patton did his hamstring last week, and when he gave the physio a little bit of a shove, it's fair to say it didn't go down great in a WhatsApp group I'm in with a lot of the boys who are very close with that physio. He's been there for about 15 years and through the whole journey. So Patton didn't win a lot of fans with that shove of our friend Andrew Lambert.
There you go. Tommy McDonald's out for the Demons with that poke to the eye. Nathan Jones, though, is a chance to return. And the big derby, Fremantle are in all sorts of trouble, aren't they? I mean, Nat Fyfe is out with a hamstring injury. Hayden Young, the youngster, has an ankle injury. Luke Shuey returns for the West Coast Eagles. Brendan Cox is back, so that's handy for them because they've got Jack Darling and Josh Kennedy to try and keep control of.
But the big one is obviously Nat Fyfe.
Just cut in there.
Let's go to Joel Selwood.
Cramp, and I shouldn't be crampy in the first quarter, and then I came off and got tested, and there was just enough there in a season like it is not to continue on.
What's got to happen in the second half for the Cats? You did it last week.
Yeah, I mean, we're a side that never gives up, so we'll go out there and give it our best, but probably just be a bit better around the ball, and we'll get our chances.
All the best. Really appreciate it, Joel.
Thanks, guys.
So there you go. Joel Selwood on 7. So he went off with a cramp. They tested it and they said, we're just a little worried about that. Sounds a little bit like Luke Shuey, doesn't it, from a few weeks ago, who felt something, didn't feel like he really tore something, but then rested and missed a week.
And nothing good's going to come of continuing. No. It can go from a 2-weeker to a 4-weeker in a blink of an eye, especially in those contest. You see Joel, he relies on that power in the contest as well, and it's not going to end well. So right decision, get him off. And the season's, it's a weird and wonderful one. Who knows where Geelong are going to be in 2 weeks.
Nat Fyfe on Monday, the Dockers said, pulled up really well from the weekend, Andrew Embley, and then the next day Fyfe, he said, no, I'm battling just a touch. And Peter Bell said today that, look, he didn't train too well on Tuesday, felt something, and he's been ruled out already. So you were a little surprised they made that call so early in the week?
Oh, I just would have thought that potentially they could have bluffed their way to and it's a derby, and it is a little bit different over here. They could have maybe bluffed their way to the end and also taken a bit of pressure off Fremantle. They're under the pump a little bit with Fyfe's injury. Did he come back too early? Maybe they could have just bluffed and said he hurt himself.
You can't bluff the Perth media, mate.
Well,
we're everywhere. We've got cameras everywhere.
Oh, send him down south on a surfing trip or something. But no, big out. And a blind man Freddie could have told that something happened in that game with 15 disposals in the first and then only 3 in the second half.
And Scott just seeing, Scott Pendlebury sitting on the bench. We might go to Tan in a moment. Hopefully he's just getting himself ready for the second half, but that didn't look promising because he also had his tracky top on. So we're in the middle of the ground. Free kicks going Geelong's way. Radaglia will take the free. Might hand it off to Ablett. No, he won't. He'll go short. And Guthrie will take the mark, gives it to Ablett. 70 out from goal. Gary heads towards the big sticks. Rowan from behind couldn't take the mark. Ball goes over the line, and we'll throw it back into play a couple of metres around from the Cats' goal.
So just waiting to get a call on Scott Pendlebury. Starting on the bench. Got the tracksuit jumper on there. He's on the replay at the moment. Doesn't look too concerned.
Yeah.
Ball thrown back into play as the rain starts to tumble down. Hawkins looking threatening but couldn't get the hand pass away. Ablett pounced on it, then couldn't pick it up. And the pressure comes from Treloar, and the umpire says, give it to me, we'll ball it up.
Watch Hawkins here. He will try and move Grundy and grab it. That's how they got their first goal.
Once again, the ball thrown up. The tap down through the legs of several players, gathered by Treloar, and he just kicks it out towards this broadcast site. It'll bounce and bounce. O'Connor's there to tap it to his team's advantage. In fact, he taps it over the line and out of bounds. Collingwood 4-3-27. Geelong 1-3-9, a little over a minute gone. Great to have Den back. We didn't take the mickey out of you at all during the half.
In this room.
We said nothing funny about you at all.
No, it was bad.
Trust me.
No, they took the mickey out of me on television. Where were you guys supporting me? Tossed in front of chance for Grundy. He crawls after the ball. Dangerfield was in there as well. Wills moves at about 15 metres. It's knocked towards the boundary line by Harry Taylor. Haven't called his name too often tonight, and the ball goes out of bounds.
Rheem is Australia's favourite water heating with over 80 years of manufacturing in Australia. Rheem has been building Aussie tough water heaters for Aussie families and conditions. So make sure you contact your plumber to install a Rheem. Den?
Grundy knocks it down in front. Treloar went to ground. Getting a boot to it was Simpson. Taken by Ablett behind the pack, and he drives it again inside the forward 50. Another wayward kick, though. In trouble is Roughhead. Held a while. Spinning out of trouble is Rowan. Good hand pass. Can Tui kick a goal? Now he's running away from goal. Hooks it back over his left shoulder and puts it through. There could be a renaissance going on here. That was a wonderful goal, and they played with spirit all the way to getting that goal.
Well, better run and carry, X. They put the game on and are prepared to use it. And just that ball inside forward 50. Wasn't a great kick from Ablett, but what Geelong forwards did was they rushed back on the footy. Hawkins got involved. Could have even been a holding the ball decision to him. And just great pressure and a great goal.
For Bob Jane T-Marts, good news. Scotty Pendlebury just teasing us to start this second half. He's on the ground.
Yeah, I think he was just cold. He was sitting on the bench with the tracksuit top on, but he's run to the centre square now. Travis Barco has just sort of come to the bench a little bit gingerly. He's getting a rub, hopefully no problem there. And Darcy Fort, the big cat, he is on the bike at the moment, been doing a few run-throughs. He hasn't got back on the ground yet.
Well, they're the two changes I've noticed at half-time. Radaglia into the ruck and Gary Ablett into the centre bounces. Already had 2 disposals and 2 inside 50s, Gaz, this quarter.
Xavier Ellis, 2008's premiership star with the Hawks. Andrew Embley, 2006 with the West Coast Eagles for Cbus Supers. A super fund you can trust. We're back in the middle with the rain. Guthrie couldn't get a disposal away. Bounced in the direction of Ablett. Kicked off the ground by Pendlebury. Up towards centre-half forward. There was a bit of holding on, so the free will come back to Collingwood's way, and they quickly play on. Elliott gathers the hand pass, spears a foot pass onto the chest of De Goey.
Again, they lower the eyes, and they don't blaze away the pies. And De Goey just continues to press up with the footy. And when you got someone on him at the moment, Triple M Bosch Tools replay, just watching Collar Jasny, just lost eye contact with him, gave him a little bit of a leg rope. You cannot give De Goey any meterage whatsoever.
Bosch Power Tools and Accessories, good better Bosch, as De Goey kicks an ordinary one through for a minor score. Already got the 2 goals to his name. That one didn't go his way. 4-4-28, plays 2-3-15. It is 13 points to lead for Collingwood.
Rain still coming down. O'Connor runs out of the goal square. Kicks it high beyond the 50. From behind, Moore, big fist on it. Stopped brilliantly beside the pack there by Adams. Quickly got boot to ball. Going across half forward to Goey. Went to ground. Captures the ball again, though. Tries to slap it out. Didn't go out. It's pinballing around in that pack. Eventually falling over. A couple of Collingwood players, and as a result getting free and kicking around the outer side. Geelong as it's close to the boundary line, and I think Roughhead is quite content to let it run out. Boundary throw in.
Pretty simple stuff, but this rain might help Geelong get back into the game. Collingwood's skills, obviously, now it's far more dangerous in the wet to share the ball as much as they do, so this might make a little opening for Geelong.
Radaglia goes at it here with Grundy. Grundy taps it down, but very close to the 2 ruckman. Just socket off the ground by Geelong forward, taken by Roughhead. Gets a hand pass away to Crisp. Good defender, Crisp. Had a great season last year. Third and the best and fairest. Myercheck marks his kick at left half forward. Sends it inside the forward 50. Coming up strongly, but unable to stick the tackle was Stevenson. And as a result, it's kicked towards the outer side there by Henry. Loose ball. In goes Guthrie. Could have been held without it. No free kick. Scrambly stuff eventually goes to Myers, kicks it down towards half forward. Oh, great. The word great. Doesn't always spring to mind with Tom Hawkins, but that was a wonderful piece of work early in his approach to the football. Just beat off his defender. Now it's with Ablett. Ablett kicks inside the forward 50. Moore is up opposed to two Cats. Knocks it away. Maynard backed into a tackle and was put down. And the ball just spills out of bounds. And Maynard a bit lucky there.
Tell you what, Gary Ablett's got silky moves at the moment. He's dancing his way around this field.
He's got a taste for it now in that midfield.
So the ball will be thrown in. We'll come to you in a moment, Beast, for the stats as Grundy taps it down. Maynard's there to gather, but he hand pass straight to Dangerfield, tight to the boundary, kicks it towards the goal square. Under pressure is Moore, dragged off it by Rowan. Then Rowan comes up with it somehow, then paddles it to his team's advantage, then grabs it again. His kick was smothered. Moore hand passed over his head to Ablett, not the man you want to do that to. And he kicked to the goal line, but it was fisted through for a minor score. Lots going on in this game. Thursday night footy in the West, 4-4-28 Collingwood. The Cats 2-4-16, 6.5 gone in the third term.
Adams has got the ball at right half back, kicks to Elliott. Elliott fires one down towards half forward, big fist away from Blixarves, and the ball runs out of bounds.
Up to 5 touches now, Gary Ablett in this third quarter. As X mentioned, he's on ball at the moment. Had 3 inside forward 50s as well. So really getting Geelong off to a good start in this third.
Grundy in front, trying to get around him. Ratugolea, ball falls free at the back. Menengola gets a hand pass away. Dangerfield tries to break a tackle, gets it across towards Tui. He hacks it on the bounce out towards the outer side. Leading in the race is Harry Taylor. Does nicely, slips it away to Clark. Clark runs over the logo. He's a team man, gave it to Tui. Well, it's like a relay of 10 metres. They pass the ball backwards and forwards a couple of times. Unnecessary. Kick goes inside the forward 50. Off the ground by Rowan. Knocked back across the line by a diving defender down there. That was well played by Noble. He was under pressure. The ball was running free. He went full length. And Geelong get it behind. They're 2-5. And the Cats are trailing by 11 points. 4-4 Collingwood.
And a 50-metre penalty out of the goal square. So Collingwood will be dragged up. And the Cats will be dragged up to the middle of the ground.
Well, like the third quarter, the Cats, they were outstanding last week in that game against Brisbane. Just turned it on, and they haven't been great so far in the first half tonight, but been signs in this third quarter that they're really starting to get their mojo back here.
So Moore kicks to the top of his attacking 50, comes out towards Ablett, gives it to Dangerfield, to Menengola. Good chain of hand passes back to Dangerfield. He sets up Simpson, but it worked out beautifully. He knew exactly what he was doing. Then ran around the boundary, kicked it check side. Myers had the right idea, but just didn't finish it. And it'll be turned over. Pendlebury, little 1-2 action with Hoskin Elliott. Gets on his left, kicks it inside, attacking 50. That is polished footy. Scotty Pendlebury, full of class. The kick inside 50, absolutely superb to about 35 out. It meant Ablett had to run back with the fly to the footy. And they'll have a chance now through Adams to kick a goal on the angle 45 outs.
When Pendlebury lopes past, give it to him every time. Such a classy finish, wasn't it? Adams pushing forward on Ablett too.
So Adams from about 45, as I said, on the angle, but we're right behind it. Kicks through the footy and it snuck in. It kept going towards the post like a magnet, but didn't get there. Good news for the Pies. They're 5-4-34. The Cats 2-5-17. That is on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology when it comes to water heating. Install a Ream.
Well, they take the game on, and that's what Geelong have done in this third quarter. But the issue is when you don't find a target, or if you don't use a footy well, and Collingwood win it, then suddenly they're forward of the play and they can't put any pressure on. And again, just that ball movement from the Pies. You mentioned Pendlebury, he's just so classy. When the ball is in his hands, he makes good decisions all the time. Lower the eyes, found Adams, and against the flow, the Pies kick one and makes it more difficult for the Cats now, X.
It really is live or die by the sword. Myers had a chance to grab the footy, decided to try and knock it on in the wet, and Collingwood just really clean. When it lands in Scott Pendlebury's hand, put your glasses down.
17 disposals now for Scotty Pendlebury and 15 for Adams to go with that one goal now on the Triple M stats.
Much needed goal for Collingwood just to quell the revival. They're up by 17 points, and that's Geelong's total score. 34 plays 17. Grundy digs a hard ball out of the middle, gives it to Treloar, goes looking for De Goey. A lot of hanging on by both parties down there. Inadvertently comes off the boot of Bosnar Balagi and goes out of bounds.
Saw Gary Ablett getting up after that middle of the ground contest, but looks okay, maybe just a little corky.
So boundary throw in front fort. He's battled hard, but Grundy's been the winner in this duel so far. Grundy takes it cleanly that time and hand passes to the forward pocket. Menegola gets back, kicks it across the face of goal. Now an opportunity for Hoskin Elliott, was it? Oh, wow, that was clever. With the outside of the boot, he ran it across the face of goal and hit the far goal post, if you can visualise that.
So the kick out goes for the Cats. They're 2-5-17. Magpies 5-5-35. 11 gone in this third term. And they'll spread it out wide. O'Connor's taken the mark. He'll go short. Back to Guthrie. I think was the man who kicked it back into play. He'll go short again. Kolodjasny still inside his defensive 50 for Geelong. And the trail at the moment by 18 points. Good possession game right now. Spreads it out wide, tight to the boundary, and Clark's taken the mark. The youngster will be forced to kick it long now down the line. Hawkins is looking threatening. Just hasn't been able to really haul in some big marks, but you just feel like he's thereabouts and could have a little purple patch.
Yeah, just hasn't found himself in too many one-on-ones down the line. On that instance, long ball, and eventually the Collingwood help comes, which they do so well. Punch it out of bounds, start again.
So we'll throw it back into play for McDonald's Triple M Rocks footy. Treloar kicks it off the ground out towards the boundary. The contest will be formed. Here's Pendlebury again. He gathers and then a check side up towards left half forward. Bodies fly. There was a bit of pushing and shoving going on as well. Here's the youngster in Noble. He gathers it back to Pendlebury. Had a fumble but paddled it forward to Brown. Slips around a couple of tackles, then had his kick smothered. A fumble from O'Connor. He has to go back and try and get it. A little bit sloppy at the moment. Fair call. They had a fair bit of rain in recent minutes, and the ball is just going to be dragged over the boundary line. Left half forwards for the Magpies, who lead it now 5-5-35 to Geelong 2-5-17. 13 gone on the Triple M Installer Ream scoreboard.
Brody Grundy up to 31 hit-outs now for the game, 10 disposals as well. He's averaging 35 hit-outs for the season, so that puts it in perspective on the Triple M stats.
Boundary throw in. Those two again, Fort and Grundy. This time a backhander from Fort, maybe. Picked up by Stephen, kicks it up towards the wing. Loose ball, Rough had his first back on it. Hurried kick, goes only as far as a Geelong player, that's Henry. He drives it down towards half forward. Getting up in front there. Well, he couldn't take the mark, Rowan, and then he stopped when he hit the deck. Maynard doesn't stop. He came through, won the ball, ran on, finds Grundy. Grundy looks towards centre half forward. High ball to go is there. So is Harry Taylor. They meet at the football. Big pack. Spills comes down to Stevenson. Stevenson lines up. He loves this situation. Long. It's touched right on the line. Oh, terrific work in defence there. Who was that running back? Buse. Yeah, like father, like son.
Yeah, that was terrific. It was metres away, centimetres away, and he got a hand to it to force it through. 5-6-36. That's Collingwood's score. And Geelong are 2-5-17. Never miss a single goal with McDelivery, available via Uber Eats. And the kick out is a shocker. It's gone out of bounds on the full. So Phillips can reload for the Pies. Dangerous part of the game. Flying high to Goey. Nearly hauled in a beauty. Now it's tight to the boundary, and Stevenson might have kicked it out of bounds on the full. No, it's going to be thrown in 10 metres around from Collingwood's goal. We'll have another look on the Triple M Bosch Tools replay. Bosch Power Tools and Accessories. Good bit of Bosch. That would have been the best we've seen for a while.
Great player. That was almost a wonderful mark. He didn't stick the landing, though. I think the Russian judge would have been harsh on him. There goes the ball wide right, through for a minor score. Stretches the lead for Collingwood, though. They're 5-7 now, 37 to 2-5-17. Short one to the pocket. And the mark has been taken there for Geelong by Stephen. Hasn't really been an influence. Short to Guthrie, barely to 15. Guthrie hard against the boundary line, still in the right back pocket for the Cats, and plenty of numbers up ahead. He hugs the boundary. Delicate kick, nice one. Finds O'Connor. Flirted with the idea of a hand pass, doesn't. Still behind the wing, well and truly. His kick might just carry the wing now. They're taking a while to clear that zone. High ball up towards the wing. Ratagalia flies from behind. Couldn't do much with it, though. Dalhouse close to the boundary line, and I think he's been bundled across. Maynard's in that pack, I think. He's a tough hombre, Maynard. Just a few moments ago, just threw himself into a pack. And I think the Geelong player didn't realise who was there, because if Maynard's around, you need to get rid of the ball quickly if he's coming at you. Tossed in, Fort, two-handed, gets it down in front. Parfitt knocks it in front of himself, dives after it. He meets Grundy on the ground. Ball spills out of the pack. It's pretty tough, uncompromising stuff. Guthrie gets a hand pass away. Now Harry Taylor giving it back to Menengola. Menengola sends it down towards right half forward. Terrific work by Moore. Knocked it away from Ratagalia. Still Geelong, hunting in packs initially, but then it's all Collingwood near the boundary line, and they force the ball across for a boundary throw-in.
I just feel like at the moment the Cats need to take the game on a little bit more. I saw O'Connor take a mark. He had a go.
And didn't give the handball.
Going straight past the right X. Could have handballed the ball, break the lines, but they want to go back this kick mark game. But at the moment, the Pies' pressure has been outstanding.
Pies by 19, midway through the third term. Parfitt's kick inside of 50, and Moore's big fist sees the ball fly over the boundary line. 25 around from Geelong's goal.
Bit of luck with Moore's hamstrings. Hopefully they stay intact, but he is the All-Australian, Embers, as you were saying. One-on-one, he's just never beaten. He's got that lighter frame where he can sort of squeeze his way into awkward positions and get the spoil in.
Just knows when to defend and when to actually attack.
So 20 points is the margin. Missed out on one little behind. There's going to be a little bit of shepherding going on. It's against Hawkins on this occasion, and Grundy will take the free 20 out from his defensive goal.
Oh.
As Maynard, but decides to go short to Crisp. Play on, said the umpire. It wasn't far enough. Gave it back to Maynard. He kicks it high outside his defensive 50. Hoskin Elliott stole it out of the hands of Dangerfield. Now gathered by Parfitt, and he kicks inside, attacking 50. Radagalia's there. Ball beats everyone. Running after it is Varco. He'll lay the tackle. The hand pass was to Clark, and then Clark was brought down without the footy, was he? Or it'll be a free kick. No, boundary throw-in. Simpson was the man who gathered it, tried to hand it off to Clark, and then ball just bumbled over the boundary line. 45 around. Here's Dennis Cometti.
Boundary throw-in just inside the 50 then. Again, Grundy. He foxes his own ball. He knocked it down in front and gets to it just inside the boundary. Kept it alive. Perhaps that was the wrong thing to do. Picked up by Parfitt. Kicks to the pocket. Moore juggles the ball across the line. Is it a mark? He should have got a free kick there. It was being held as they approached the footy.
And let's go down to the boundary. Jordan Clark, big news. 10 for Bob Jones T-Marts. He's done something real serious with that wrist.
Terrible news. I think he's popped his shoulder lock. It looks like it's out at the moment. He's just trying to get to the boundary now with someone holding his right arm. I think his shoulder is out of place. Of course, he had that horrible elbow injury, but it looks like it's something new this time.
He's a courageous young man. He knows no other way. He's off the ground. Ablett comes on. We wish him well. Now, the booing is for a free kick, I think, is it? Going to Geelong? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, Ray's got himself involved in the game. It didn't look to be too much. It was, the play continued on and Ray's has pulled one out, I think.
So, the free kick is taken by Simpson, and he puts it through. 27 possessions last week, hasn't been as busy tonight. That was well done, and we study the form of this young fella going around the boundary, Clark. What rotten luck. 37 plays 23.
Yeah, really concerning news here for Jordan Clark. He's popped his right shoulder out. As Tan mentioned, he would have just walked past him going straight down to the race, and they'll try to get that shoulder back in, and unfortunately he's in a bit of strife at the moment. But good stuff by the Cats. They won't go away, and just going to look at the Triple M Bosch Tools replay at the moment just to see how Clark hurt that right shoulder.
Just trapped under Grundy when he slid.
Yeah, it didn't look like too much in it. Just the right arm just sort of got away from him a little bit, and maybe a little bit of weight, accidental weight from Grundy on the top of that right shoulder has unfortunately popped it out for him.
So down to 2 on the bench now. The Cats, no Selwood and no Clark. As we continue to see on the Bosch Tools replay, Clark heading to the rooms. Fair walk for the young fella as the Pies are out of the middle, and we've got a game in our hands still. 14 points, Collingwood's lead, but the Cats continue to stay in it. Here's O'Connor. Hand pass good in his defensive half to Hughes and then to Taylor. His kick just a little firm, and Varco read it best. Got his hand to it and forced to the boundary.
Well, we heard Joel Selwood at half-time saying the one thing about the Cats, they never give up. They were resilient last week. They were down 2 plays in the first quarter, and they found a way to come back. And whilst you felt like Collingwood have been on top for most of this game, the Cats won't go away, and they're well and truly in the contest still.
For McDonald's, Triple M Rocks footy. Here's Parfitt trying to pick up the ruck tap, but it came off the foot of a Collingwood player. He didn't really mean it, Parfitt, but he tapped it onto the foot of Pendlebury, and the Cats will take the free and come down the line. Simpson will kick it long. Radicalea once again trying to fly high. Quaynor picks it up and gives it to Noble. Now to Crisp. Through the middle of the ground come the Pies. The run of Noble. He set him up, though. That was a poor hand pass from Hoskin Elliott. Then he had to kick it off the ground. Taylor had a fit of the fumbles. Couldn't gather the football. It's only metres away from the centre circle. Forward half of the ground for the Pies. Gathered by Adams. Well played. Diving to the ground. He picked it up. Gave it out by hand to Phillips. The kick inside 50. Oh, Elliott should have taken that mark. He was running back with the flight of the footy now. He's on the ground. Working hard, Kolodjasny. He can't pick it up. Ball about 45 metres out. Phillips followed it up on his left. Kicks to the goal square. And it'll be rushed through for a minor score. That was good running from Phillips. He was through the middle of the ground and then inside attacking 50.
I reckon
5-7 plays 3-5. Free kick, you reckon?
Free kick's gone to Collingwood. Not sure what happened there. I've looked at Triple M Bosch Tools replay at the moment.
Without the
ball.
Without it.
Yeah, so a little bit stiff there, but is it Dacos? We'll take the free kick.
It's Brown.
Brown, is it? Yep.
So Brown will take it. Good call, Embers, on the spot. But he's outside 50. Going to take a pretty big kick from here. Son of a gun. 8 disposals so far in the game. Decides to kick it right to the goal square where there's a massive pack and a big fist from Harry Taylor. Straight down the throat of Menengola, who goes short to Tui, and the Cats should get out of trouble here.
That was a strange decision to make, wasn't it? Take something off the kick and just kick it to the top of the square, and there's a pack of about 30 that flew for it. Ball goes around the outer side, so reprieve there for Geelong. Not sure, Brown must be under instructions just to get the ball to the top of the square. Cox isn't there tonight, and they're relying on a shorter forward line to take those marks. Grundy didn't go all that way down to compete, so boundary throw in on the outer side. He's competing now, knocks it from behind Fort forward. Fort fights on. Try that. Off the ground, it's kicked down towards half forward by Stephen. Ablett tried to kick it on the bounce, nothing doing. Down goes Maynard. Pretty tough stuff out there. Finding his way through the pack was Crisp. He's a wonderful player, Crisp, now. Hand pass comes forward, but it's chopped off and sent back towards half forward. But the mark has been taken by Quaynor in defence. So Quaynor starts another attack for Collingwood. They've had plenty. Hand pass to Noble from Grundy. This kick's a poor one. Goes directly to Menengola. He boots it back towards centre half forward. Now, opportunity for the little fella to go. Well, Myers took a long time to go nowhere, and then he continues to go nowhere. He's put it out of bounds on the bounce, about 35 metres around from the behind post. The goals were only 40 metres directly in front of him. That was a strange decision.
We spoke about Hawkins not getting any one-on-ones. That was the first time he had advantage side one-on-one, so much space. That's not defensive coaching, it's just poor skill.
And he let him know all about it too. Xavier Ellis with the special comments. The ball thrown back into play. Grundy had a bit of a hand pass, then went to go try and get it himself and had a fumble. Now came to Adams. He kicks to the wing. To go, he can't take the mark. Ball spalled away. It'll be gathered by Kolodjasny.
Well done.
To a teammate in Menengola who was just tackled as he tried to kick it, and it'll be turned over. Roughhead gathers and kicks out wide. Hoskin Elliott on the end of it. He'll chip it over the top. Good running from De Goey. He's run from the middle of the ground now to right half forwards and tells everyone to slow it down. Around a minute to go in this quarter, but he decides to kick to centre half forward, and standing in the way is the big man in Kolodjasny. Decides to spread it out wide on this occasion. The kick just stood up in the air a little too long for Stephen. The ball was fisted away from him over the line. 5-7-37 Collingwood. Geelong 3-5-23. That's on the Triple M Installer Room scoreboard. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology when it comes to water heating. Installer Room.
Boundary thrown on the outer side then. Again, Grundy, tireless tonight, knocks it down in front of the pack and then goes again, knocks it towards the boundary. Guthrie's got it, hand passes away to Stephen. Guthrie feeds it back on the outer side. Tui drives it long down towards half forward, stepping up in front there. And doing quite cleverly to stop the ball was Hawkins. He's sort of trapped it side-footed, but then it ran away from him and went out of bounds.
The one guy I'd say from Geelong in the early part of his quarter, Gary Ablett was the one that got them back in the game and involved. And he went to the bench and then he's played forward again, which I find unusual. He's a little bit in no man's land. That half-forward role is very, very hard. Toby Green plays it exceptionally well, but there's not many that can. Gaz brought so much energy around the ball, and then all of a sudden he's back in the graveyard shift at a half-forward flank as Taylor Adams runs off the ground with the blood rule. But, I mean, it's caution to the wind now, Embers.
Yeah.
Get Ablett in there.
I agree with you. And at half-forward, what Gary Ablett does like to do is gets around the contest as well. And what we'll find at the moment tonight, when Geelong win the footy, they're kicking the ball forward and they're just losing those numbers, losing that structure ahead of the football. So for mine, as you said, he was the player in that third quarter, the start of this quarter, that was able to get themselves back into the contest by finding some football around it.
Boundary throw in, knocked down by Fort. Going after it, Guthrie close to the boundary line, hooks across his body. Quaidar goes across and crashes into a chair over there. But the man was sitting in until about 2 seconds before he arrived. Quick reflexes. Quaidar's hurt. Getting up slowly. He's had a rough run with injury recently.
Triple M Bosch Tools replay, Den. He just went sliding into that fence really quickly. Just had the awareness to turn his head. Young Quaidar at the right time would have gone head straight into that fence.
He's a brave fella. He's up and kicking. Sends the ball up towards the wing. It's stumped out of bounds. So the countdown continues to three-quarter time.
Just to extend on those Gary Ablett stats with the boys, he had 6 touches early, boys, and hasn't seen one since. So backs up what you were saying on the Triple M stats.
Boundary throw in, players start on the logo and sprint towards the boundary. Falls in front, taken by Treloar, who came on for Adams. He kicks it down towards half forward, gathered by O'Connor. Kick across the body, a wayward one out of bounds on the full. It stops the clock. So 5 seconds remain. Hard to see anything happening from here. Even a kick and a mark mightn't come within 5. Ball is put back. High ball hangs a long time in the air. Big pack, big leap from behind. The Geelong player, and O'Connor just tracks it to the boundary. And there's the siren for three-quarter time. Let's go down to the boundary. Here's Tanya Armstrong.
Yeah, terrible luck for Geelong youngster Jordan Clark. He's just emerging from the change rooms with his arm in a sling. So he popped that right shoulder, sliding towards the boundary with a bit of weight from Brodie Grundy coming down on it. Terrible luck. We know last year he had a serious elbow injury which ended his debut season at the Cats, and now he's got his right arm in a sling. It's the other good arm. He had his left elbow operated on last year, and this is his right shoulder.
Good
so
on
the
you,
Cats
Tim.
down to 2 on the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. Joel Selwood with a hamstring injury. He went off early in the first term. The Magpies 5-7-37. The Cats 3-5-23. For McDonald's, Triple M Rocks footy.
That quarter for Rheem. Built tough for Aussie conditions with the latest technology. When it comes to water heating, install a Rheem.
For McDonald's.
Triple M rocks footy.
Never miss a single goal with McDelivery. Available via the Uber Eats app.
Hey, it's Dangerous Dave here, back on with Kennedy Malloy, and class is in.
Good morning, Mr. Dangerous Dave.
For Triple M School of Rock. This week, collaborations from duets to supergroups and great guest appearances. Triple M School of Rock celebrating collaborations. Class starts tomorrow at 9 on Triple M.
When it comes to protecting your valuable machinery or vehicle, there's no better choice than Fuchs Lubricants. Fuchs range covers automotive, agricultural, manufacturing and mining, using German technology and Australian know-how. Fuchs.com.au or call 1-800-1800-13.
July is Sea-Doo's in-house boat show month. Come and see the entire Sea-Doo lineup and discover why Sea-Doo is still Australia's #1 choice in personal watercrafts. Bring the family. We have the lot, from watercrafts to trailers to safety equipment to get you up and sea-dooing. Come in and see us soon, as these boat show month specials must finish July 31st. See things differently. Visit seadoo.com to find your local dealer. Play nicely, snow melts in water and social distancing is more fun anyway.
Hey, you guys
guys finished with the move?
Almost.
You apply for that personal loan yet?
Yeah, I might sort it out with ANZ, but for now the floor's pretty comfy.
No furniture yet?
It's surprisingly fine.
Who needs a couch?
Edgemed, align that spine.
You're gonna...
Yeah, I'm going to apply for that loan. Yeah.
An ANZ personal loan could help you feel a little more on top. Search ANZ personal loans to learn more. All credit applications are subject to ANZ's credit assessment criteria. T's and C's, fees and charges apply.
Purchase a new MY20 Volvo XC60 now and receive $5,000 cash back. Only at your local Volvo dealer until 29 September 2020, while stock lasts. Excludes fleet, government and rental buyers. Terms and conditions at volvocars.com.au. Volvo.
Hi, John Setger here. Thanks to all the construction workers still heading into work to build our city. This pandemic is not over, and we need to do more. Keep practicing safe distancing, wash your hands, and if you or anyone at home feels unwell, stay home and get tested. We can't stop now. Look after your mates, your family, the community, and stay safe. Let's keep our industry working, look out for each other, so we can lead the recovery of our nation.
Have things gone a little quiet in the bedroom recently? Well, now's the time to bring sexy back to the bedroom, because all 11 Sexyland stores in Melbourne and Geelong are open for business. Filled with Australia's biggest range of toys, games and gift ideas for grown-ups. Can't wait any longer? Try Sexyland's online quickie delivery service. That's 2 hours express in Melbourne Metro and Greater Geelong.
July is Sea-Doo's in-house boat show month. Come and see the entire Sea-Doo lineup and discover why Sea-Doo is still Australia's #1 choice in personal watercrafts. Specials must finish July 31st. Visit seadoo.com to find your local dealer.
Imagine picking up a free barista-made coffee every day for a year. Drive through to your local McCafe today, grab a smooth, delicious coffee, and you could be the winner at your local McCafe. Ends 23rd July 2020. Visit mcdonalds.com.au/coffeecom for full terms. Excludes McDelivery.
Triple M rocks footy.
This quarter for IGA Liquor. IGA Liquor, proudly independent.
The Cats within striking distance at three-quarter time, but still some work to do. Collingwood 5-7-37 and Geelong 3-5-23 to go with the 2 goals for the Pies. Couple of injuries for Geelong. Joel Selwood went off the ground early in the first quarter, and then Jordan Clark has done his shoulder. So they're down to 2 men on the bench. Xavier Ellis and Andrew Embley with their thoughts with a quarter to play.
Well, Lex, I felt like in that third quarter, Geelong started to get on top around the contest. And we spoke about Gary Ablett getting pushed into the midfield to start things going. Started to get his hands on the footy. Got some good support from Guthrie and Menegola. Dangerfield was good. Thought Jack Stephen provided a little bit as well. Tui on a wing was able to push forward and kick a goal. But again, for mine, they've got to do 2 things at the moment. With footy in hand, they just got to move a little bit quicker. I still think they're a little bit slow with their ball movement. And the other part is when they do go inside their forward 50, their half forwards just got to hold structure. Because at the moment, when they do kick the ball quickly and their forwards are getting up, they're not getting one-on-ones inside their forward 50 and they aren't able to be able to lock the ball in. And at the moment, Hawkins is working really hard to be able to create that contest. But inside forward 50, if you rush the footy and your forwards are getting high, then guys like Maynard and Moore, they're just having a field day back there to be able to win the footy. And then we've seen on transition, the Pies are prepared to go really quick.
Yeah, Brodie Grundy too is going to be massive in this last quarter. He's been dominant tonight. The arm wrestle started relatively evenly, but all of a sudden, which we've seen throughout his career, he just takes over the game and can now direct where the ball goes at every stoppage. When Gaz gets in the stoppage, Treloar's not going to man him up, Pendlebury's not going to man him up, Adams is not going to man him up. But when he goes forward into that no man's land, he's got Maynard on him. So he can't break that sort of tag, I suppose, in a forward line. A defender's right up his clacker. So if you can get him in there, he can freewheel a little bit. He doesn't have to worry about kick chasing, which allows that drop-off you're talking about. But I think Nathan Buckley's really getting into the boys now. I'm just sitting here watching. He's quite demonstrative at them. I'm not sure why, but I think they've probably got a little bit too much experience, Collingwood, in this last quarter.
The first goal's just crucial, isn't it? 14 points down, and you just felt like there were signs in that third quarter that the Cats were starting to come. And again, if they had have had a bit more composure inside forward 50, we saw Myers on a quick, fast break, had Hawkins inside by himself. Jack Stephen had worked down, had plenty of space, and just poor decision not to be able to find a target. And that's what's hurting the Cats at the moment. As we have a look at Gary Ablett, he's going to start in the centre bounce alongside Patrick Dangerfield. I reckon Parfitt's another player that can really stand up. But if the Cats can find a way to get the first goal and get it early in this last quarter, it's game on.
Still a little chilly over here, Den, and your man Nathan Buckley with the polo on, no jumper. Everybody else has got jumpers and coats on, and the great man, he just dons the polo, doesn't feel any cold.
Arms and pecs.
That's
if I had him.
You had him?
I'd be wearing a tight shirt. If I had them. Oh, no. I'd be wearing a short shirt at the snow.
Part of selling the myth, isn't it?
That's right. 5-7-37 Collingwood. They lead the Cats 3-5-23. We've got one more quarter to play here in the West. It is an unusual sight to see two Victorian teams battling it out here in Perth. But we're looking forward to the final term. Here's Dennis Cometti.
Margin 14 points. Collingwood have led all day and increased their lead at various times to 20 points or so, but they've been reeled in a couple of times by the Cats. Can the Cats do it again? Belated whistle there for holding the ball as the ball was won forward initially by the Cats. And the man who's run the furthest on the ground today, which is a little surprising, Myers, gives up the free kick there. Quaynard goes directly across the ground and finds Roughhead pushing up from full back. Short one is on to Varco. If Varco wants it, or a longer one could go over his head. No, he decides to kick the distance. That was a poor selection, although a poor attempt at a mark there by Radaglia. Straight through his hands. He went up unopposed. And the ball spilt behind, and now it's out of bounds, right half forward for Collingwood.
Well, that's where Radaglia's game's going to be won or lost. When he starts taking those marks, that was an easy opportunity to make a bit of a statement on the game, and probably wasn't strong enough at the ball.
13 points that margin. In fact, it's 14 points. Collingwood lead it. Here's Ablett. Goes back by hand to Blixarps. Has it on the left. Kicks out towards the boundary. Radaglia again goes one-handed. He's under pressure now. Just got the hand pass away. No. Court holding the ball. That one was a little tough for the mark.
Just a little fumble, though. It wasn't a great kick to Radaglia, but just a little fumble. And you just felt like tonight Collingwood have been able to adapt to the conditions. They've been cleaner than the Cats, but just a little bit of fumble, puts himself under pressure, and then the pressure comes from the Pies.
Grundy's kick not so good, read beautifully by Harry Taylor, the West Aussie. His family's back here in WA, but because of the quarantine, they're quarantining in Geraldton. 10. Several hours away. How many hours is Geraldton? 4 hours?
At least.
Yeah.
I was born there.
You were in Geraldton?
Carry on. Commentary. Don't worry about that.
Never been back.
One of the Geraldton's greats. As it's kicked away from Tui up towards half forward. Gathered by Hawkins. Wants someone running past. Decides to go himself. Bombs it inside 50. Rowan one out. Rowan nearly took the mark. Then paddled it to his team's advantage. We're only 10 metres out from Geelong's goal. We're going to have a ball up.
Better, though, by the Cats. Quick ball movement. Hawkins prepared to turn and go inside forward 50 to one-on-ones. Rowan holding that position. Could have even got a free kick, I reckon.
Cats needing an early goal. Hawkins tries to get it to Ablett. Not bad policy. He's immediately tackled by Maynard. And it's holding the ball. Gee, Maynard, he's got better and better with each season. He is really a tough hombre now. In the goal square. He's bred in the purple. Sends this one short. Oh, it just got to Crisp. Overcommitting with Simpson. It was worth a gamble. Crisp runs away as a result. Kicks it up towards the wing. It pitches just inside the boundary and goes out of the interchange gates. 37 Collingwood, 23 Geelong, with 13:43 remaining in the game.
Maynard's ability to defend's always been very, very good, but now he's become an offensive weapon off half-back.
Boundary throw in. Radaglia was the only player who ran towards the ball. One wonders why he started so far back. He got to it as a half volley, and then a free kick has been given to Collingwood. They didn't have a representative at the boundary throw-in. Still, they finish up with the football. Treloar sends it down towards left half forward. Quaynard's in that pack. Punched away from behind by Harry Taylor. Grabbed close to the boundary line by Pendlebury. Hooks it around, keeping it in, and cleverly too. That was well played by Brown. Callum Brown, he brings up the rear of the pack and the ball squirted out the back to him. He hand passes towards the goal square. Blixarves is there. Tries to get a kick off. Didn't succeed. Hand pass from Main. Bodies go in close to the boundary. Blixarves. And the ball is across eventually and will get a boundary throw in. Plenty of bodies, plenty of work. No result.
Wasn't pretty there by the Pies, but what they're doing at the moment is they're winning their one-on-ones, they're making the scrap. And young Brown there just was really good to keep his feet and certainly keep the ball alive for the Pies.
Bit of a cheer for the crowd, 22,077 the total tonight as Geelong move it through the middle of the ground. Hawkins to Stephen, and he just kicks it to an open 50. Who will get there first? Rowan, look at the speed of Gary Rowan. Moore didn't know he was coming. Moore did pretty well, though. Put his body on the line, gathered it, gives off the hand pass. Quick kick away will land into the hands of Main. Gary Rowan.
Gary Rowan with speed.
Usain Bolt.
Tell you what, Darcy Moore, though, he knew that he actually couldn't outrun Gary Rowan, but what he did was he actually cut the angles off and was able to at least push Rowan off the footy. It was outstanding play.
Fumbled mark by the Pies. They're under pressure. Here's the tomahawk again. Kicks inside 50. Rowan had a juggle, but he took the mark. Now this one must go through to put the pressure right on the Magpies.
He's on his haunches too before that ball. He might be a little bit tired. That was a fantastic chase. Darcy Moore, of course, has his hamstrings to worry about. He doesn't need Gary Rowan chasing him like that, but at the top of his mark here, he looks absolutely cooked.
This is big X. This is
huge.
Big. He's what's left in the tank. It'll be a huge kick here for Gary Rowan. Hasn't had a big night, but if he goes back and kicks this, we've got a game on our hands.
Is Gary gassed? No, he's not. He's kicked the goal. Game on at Optus Stadium. 5.5 gone in the final term. And it's an 8-point ball game. The Pies 5-7-37. The Cats 4-5-29. That's on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor, proudly independent.
Well, they find a way, the Cats. They are a resilient football team. We saw that last week with a couple of players down. Again tonight, Selwood out early. And now Jordan Clark in the third quarter. But they're starting to win some footy at the contest. They're starting to use it a bit better. And they're getting some one-on-ones inside forward 50. It's a really good fight back from them, X.
And when they use it a little bit better, we had Hawkins one-on-one, Gary Rowan Moore, and he went long. And on that occasion, Moore was sitting back thinking it was going to go long. But when you're using the ball well, Gary Rowan comes out in the lead. Beautiful kick and a fantastic finish.
Well, could be a grandstand finish. 5-7-37, 4-5-29. They can score quickly. Sounds a contradiction the way they go about it, but they did certainly after half-time last week. They came storming back with a couple of big quarters and lots of goals. Socket off the ground by Elliott, down towards half-forward. Socket on by Treloar, but there's a whistle and it's going to be a free kick. And I think it's going Collingwood's way.
Yeah, he just caught one high. Just a stray arm, not intentional.
Treloar will take the kick. He's been active. How many, Beast?
27 disposals, 10 clearances.
Whoa.
Jeepers.
Treloar, 70 metres out, sends a long one down towards full forward. Big pack, about 8 players flew for that one. Punched away, leading back in the race and doing pretty well close to the boundary line was Elliott. Coming at him was Simpson. They meet across the boundary and it's going to be a free kick to Simpson. So it must have been that he got into his back. Simpson drives it up towards the wing. Coming from behind Rattigalia. Well, he didn't stick it. Ball free behind, taken by Moore. Hand passes to Treloar, gives it to Pendlebury. Pendlebury a searching kick. Hoskin Elliott has taken the mark of the night and maybe the mark of the year. Just soared about the pack. What a terrific effort. He sort of went once and then got a second wind up there.
Oh, what a grab. Triple M Bostil's replays. Have a look at that. It was a run and jump, and he got a real good one too. Over the top of Collar Jasny. We'll be seeing that all week, X.
Well, that will be hard to beat for mark of the year. Needs a goal to finish it off. Sometimes blinded by your own brilliance. The next thing you do is not quite so smart. He's missed wide right. Most unlike him. He's normally reliable around goals, but perhaps he's just needing a little oxygen. Those oxygen masks will fall out any moment now.
He's made the call up to the upstairs. Play the Bosch Tools replay again. Bosch Power Tools and Accessories. Good, better Bosch. The kick into the middle, marked by Hawkins. Have the Cats got a response? He goes to Torrey, kicks it inside, attacking 50. Dalhouse hovers, ball comes in the direction of Guthrie. He doesn't bend down to pick it up. The Pies there in numbers, no. They couldn't pick it up. Wills, he had a fumble. Here's Myers, he's worked his butt off. He can't fall over the top of it. Now gathered by Treloar, kicks into the middle of the ground. Well done, Elliott. Gathered it against two, quickly kicked it out towards right half forward. Blixarv should get there first if it doesn't beat him over the boundary. Oh, terrific pressure. The tackle was enormous from Myercheck. Blixarv was waiting just to lob a hand pass over the top. He didn't have time. Myercheck tackled him and pushed him over the line.
Big opportunity inside 50. Guthrie with that torpedo inside 50 by Hawkins. He just waited. He had to go.
The ball thrown in. Adams is there. He can't gather it. Main had a couple of goes at it. Treloar, nearly another possession. Dragged to the ground though. Main hovers over the top. The ball not going anywhere, although a push in the back's going to be called. It's going to go Collingwood's way. Little lucky for the Pies. It's 5:8:38, plays 4:5:29. Only 9.5 minutes gone in this final term.
Adams with the football plays on and then kicks to nobody except Blixarves, who slides in on his knees and takes the mark. Inspiring stuff just moments ago from Elliott. And then Myercheck. But now that's all for naught. They're trying the spirals forward now. That's the second spiral that Geelong have tried from defence. Spills behind the pack now. The kick coming in from Collingwood. Again, Blixarves gets a hand pass forward. It was Kolajasny actually taken by Geelong, and the kick comes up to the wing, claiming it was Rowan. Well, it should have been a free kick to Rowan. Maynard, my man, grabs it and kicks it down the boundary line, and it goes out of bounds. So tough break there.
Umpire definitely missed that one. Triple M Boss Tools replay. Maynard's almost tackled Gary Rowan in that marking contest. Poor decision.
I think he tried to give away the free kick almost so Gary Rowan couldn't take him on the mark.
Ball thrown back into play. Grundy, the man in front, taps it through the hands though of Pendlebury. Working hard is Dangerfield. He's kicked it. It's come off the boots of Crisp. So Dangerfield will get the free right half back. He'll go short inside his defensive 50. They're looking to switch play to the far side. It's Kolajasny with the football. He goes short again. And Simpson has taken the mark. There's still 50 out from their defensive goal. They've got to get it moving. 11 minutes gone, shorter quarters during this time. But they're being patient. His short pass was okay. Henry still inside his defensive 50, spreads it out wide. Now Simpson wants it back, but O'Connor decides to go in the other direction. Lots of short kicks to Blixarves, and now he comes back to Simpson. They might have created an overlap here. Good play. Now Guthrie looks to the wing. Dangerfield led and then led the wrong way. The kick out towards the boundary line will bounce over the line. That was unlucky. Guthrie thought Dangerfield was going to sprint off to the wing, but he went closer to him.
Strange play by Geelong. The last two times they've gone torpedoes down the corridor. On that occasion, they took 2 minutes off the clock by chipping it around. It was a strange bit of play. They've got to attack the corridor.
Boundary throw in at the interchange gates. Directly down in front of us. Grundy again. Wins another knock. Ratugolea goes after the football, though, earnestly. Socket off the ground by Varco. Came across to Stevenson. Hand passes to Crisp. Crisp drives it inside the forward 50. Blixarves comes across and full-chested tries to take the mark. There was too much chest, and it ricochets off his body and goes out of bounds.
Wasn't Blixard's finest moment there. Just a kick inside forward 50 for the Pies, and he was under no pressure, and he's dropped one and now gives Collingwood a chance to come set up at this boundary throw-in.
Magpies lead it by 9 points. Tossed in to Goey. Well, he could have picked that ball up, decided not to, just hacked away at the ball on the bounce. But the timing was exquisite, and he may have kicked the winning goal. He's got his third. 6 goals now to Collingwood, 6-8, and the Cats are 4-5.
Well, I reckon that's the game there. We spoke about it. Blixards just dropped a real simple mark. And when you felt like Geelong were coming, you mentioned just before that, they probably could have moved the ball a little bit quicker through the corridor. And just some decision-making, a couple of skill errors, and suddenly this is what the Pies do. They get a boundary throw-in inside their forward 50, and to go around it, already looking really dangerous. He just, again, gets off Kolajasny, comes through the stoppage with pace, and then just got the awareness to sock it off the ground. It was a great goal, and you'd almost think it could be the sealer.
Yeah, Tom Hawkins too, funnily enough, just ran from full forward down to full back. to see the defenders. I think that might have been enough mucking around with it across the half-back line. Let's tack that corridor as quickly as we can. I think the horse has bolted now, 15 points the margin. But you're right, they chipped it, gave Collingwood a chance, an error, and then a fantastic goal.
There goes the X-Man and Embers for Triple M CBUS Super special comments. CBUS Super, a super fund you can trust. We're out of the middle again. Crisp is working hard in there, but gathered by Guthrie. Hand passes to the ground, though, of his teammate in Dalhouse. Simpson trying to put the pressure on and get the ball back as a loose hand pass went his direction. And lots of tackles being laid in the middle of the ground, so we'll ball it up just on the edge of the centre square broadcast side.
Brodie Grundy now with 15 disposals and 41 hit-outs, 6 inside 50s on the Triple M stats.
Ford against Grundy again, comes down to Ford. He couldn't gather it, and he was taken without the footy, so he gets the free kick. Gives it off to Guthrie, who was keen to get a possession. And he goes short, full of run. And that's okay to Stephen. Just hasn't got going today. Stephen had the 14 disposals, but hasn't really had a huge impact on the game. Wants to run around his opponent, but then goes to fend off. He's in a little bit of trouble. Needs to get it on the left. He got away with the trouble and then kicked it up to half forward. Punched away by Crisp. Down it goes to Treloar. He kicks it to the wing. Here's to Goey. He gathers the football on the bounce. Players come to him. Decides to go short. Smart decision. Meyer checks inside 50 and takes the mark.
Was he about to come off?
Just came on, I think.
Oh, did he?
Just snuck on.
Came off after the goal, then snuck back on. And it was good timing, wasn't it, X?
Absolutely. But there's the example. Collingwood are rushing forward, but just that inside 50, they take so much pride. Meyer check with a great lead, charging back to goals, then just tick back to the kicker. It's such an easy pass over 20 metres, and he deserves a goal, Meyer check, here in this play. He's been outstanding doing the one-percenters.
He'll have to kick it from outside 50, probably 52. He runs around a touch to get the distance on the kick. It'll probably drop short, and the Cats decide to fist it through for a minor score. So the Magpies are 6-8-44, and Geelong now climb their way. Sorry, the Magpies are 6-9-45, and the Cats are 4-5-29. 15 and a half gone. That's on the Triple M IGA Liquor scoreboard. IGA Liquor proudly independent, 10.
Tui kicks it up towards the wing. 16 points the margin. It goes out of bounds. Skim the knuckles of Dangerfield. We'll get a throw in, and time of the essence now for the Cats. The chances are almost gone, but maybe they can grab a quick goal. That could change things. Fort and Grundy start their endurance run from the centre towards the boundary. Grundy gets a fist on it, knocks it down. Crisp close to the boundary line. Grundy follows up. Got a hand pass across to Dacos. Coming through his men a goal of those. Snatched the ball away. A chance for Stephen as if he was taking a penalty kick. Sockers it towards centre half forward. Ricochets out of the pack from Roughhead. Picked up by Dacos. Dacos looks around the boundary. Very cute kick. Will it come off? Crisp in the grasp. Did well. Comes to Pendlebury. The corridor is open. He goes to the middle. It could well be 50. It's not. Adams was pushed over. Hughes coming back on him. Adams wants a target coming at him, looking across the ground, nowhere there. So he comes out to this man, Treloar, who really has had a wonderful night tonight. His endurance is outstanding, and he gets so many hard ball gets. He earns his possessions, not like some players in the league. Most of them do, but some don't. Here's Elliott taking a mark as forward of the wing.
32 touches now for Adam Treloar tonight, coming off 30 and 35 in the last 2 weeks.
High ball inside the forward 50, well marked by Taylor. Showed the judgment there against Myercheck. Just pushed him under the football. Goes across the face of goal, and Kolajasny.
Kolajasny has it. 16 points, the Magpies lead. Little over 4 minutes remaining in the final term here at Optus Stadium. The big kick out was nearly marked by Rowan. Wants to hand it to a teammate. Dalhouse is there. He's caught in a tackle by 3 or 4 hungry Magpies. Here's Maynard. Gives it off to Phillips on the wing. Kicks it inside attacking 50. A little bit of holding on. And it's going to go Harry Taylor's way, and he plays on quickly. They've got to go now to Dangerfield. Chips it over the top to the run of Guthrie. He has it on the wing. Decides to kick it in the middle of the ground. It was a good one. Fort was there, though. Just went a little far for him. Well played by Main. Fisted it to Moore. Gave it to Stevenson. Magpies up to the challenge. The short pass good to Chris.
Big win from the Pies tonight because they were challenged in the second half, but just been outstanding with their pressure and just their decision-making, their ability to use the footy, been a lot better than Geelong's tonight.
Geelong continued to try and attack, but that time the big ruckman in forward had his hand pass obscured. Here's Hoskin area. Elliott gives it to Treloar. He snaps it round the corner to De Goey. He's been very dangerous. Comes off the feet, though. Well played in the end from Henry. He just dodged a few opponents and then went short to Dalhouse. And Dalhouse will gather and kick it up towards right half forward. Radagalia's there. There's lots of wrestling going on. He's going to get the free kick, the big man. Or is it Dangerfield? No. Radagalia, who gives it to Dangerfield, plays on, kick inside, 50, goes okay. Guthrie marks and has to go back and kick quickly.
Just Noble on that occasion just wasn't in the game, was he? He didn't see what was happening.
Hasn't stopped trying tonight, Dangerfield. He's certainly been one Geelong player that just continues to will his way. He's up 29 touches now. He's had the 8 clearances and most importantly, though, just lowered the eyes to find Guthrie. This has to go in.
And he's stepped up in the absence of Joel Selwood. He kicks towards goal and he's nailed it. Maybe some life in the Cats. Time is running out. But they trim it back to 10. They need a real quick one out of the middle. It's 6:9:45, plays 5:35. Here's the Seba Super Special Comments men in Xavier Ellis and Andrew Embley.
Yeah, danger inside 50 there. Guthrie's played a great game as well, 27 disposals. But this set of ounce is crucial. Grundy's waltzing into the centre circle, which is always a threat. Radagalia, if he's got a little trick up his sleeve, I'd be getting Dangerfield on the move, open up the front of the stoppage. He's their man. It has to go to him. And we've got someone on the ground.
Oh, God.
Well, someone has run onto the grounds.
Well,
just to spoil it for everyone.
Talking about $50,000 fines for a potential streaker today. So I hope this bloke is cashed up because
he doesn't look it.
He's in strife.
Well, they'll get him off pretty quickly, that. He didn't get too far, got to about the 50-metre arc, and we're back in the middle because it's 10 points to margin, 20 minutes gone, a little over 2 remaining in the game. 50 grand, did you say?
It was in the paper today, 50 grand
wow.
for a potential fine.
He obviously
there you go, it's on the board
paper.
now.
Ball tossed up, taken away, kicked inside the forward 50 for Collingwood. It was a great ruck knock by Grundy, and now it's a juggled mark that's played to the Goey. He was surrounded by cats, a couple of them flew, and somehow the ball found its way to De Goey, who had hit the turf. So we got first touch on it and took the mark brilliantly out of the centre there by Crisp. A long ball in, catchable ball too. Well, actually, watching the replay, it rolled down the back of Blixards. We'll see more of that in just a moment. The boys will, as the goal goes through from De Goey. He's got 4, and he's been a match winner. De Goey pushes Collingwood now to victory. 7-9, 51 to 5-5, 35. And it's been a great performance by that forward.
We spoke about the importance of that last centre bounce. The Cats kick one. They need to win a centre bounce clearance. And just the work from Brodie Grundy again. His hit-outs tonight, hit-outs to advantage. They knew exactly what they were doing, the Pies. They don't go and save the game. They want to take the game on. And Chris gets it on the fly. Kick inside forward 50. And De Goey, who has just looked so dangerous tonight. Great to see him back. 4 goals, finishes off Brodie Grundy's wonderful work.
Unauthorised access to a quarantine zone may result in a $50,000 fine.
I think you summed it up too. I'm not sure 50 grand's in his back pocket.
No, I think he might be on the payments.
Not sure he could read the sign either at this stage of the night.
Another GoFundMe page, I reckon. Good luck to you, young fella. You might not be getting anything from anyone.
10 for Bob Jane T-Marts hasn't been on the ground. She does the right thing. Bob Jane T-Marts buy 3, get 1 free on Yokohama and Nitto 4x4 tyres. We're out of the middle again. Dangerfield to Ablett, bobjane.com.au. Gives it off to Tui. His kick not so good. And the Pies will gather it. Stevenson, he kicks it high in the air. Time is running out as Dangerfield tried to punch it to his team's advantage. And now it comes back towards Dangerfield. He paddles it out towards the boundary line, and Stevens held without it, so he'll lose the free kick. It'll go against Ablett on the far side of the ground, and Chris Mayne will take the free kick on the wing. Under a minute remaining as Mayne kicks up towards half forward, Packle form, and the ball will head towards the boundary line. Fort punches it away from Brodie Grundy. So it's Collingwood 7-9-51, the Cats 5-5-35. And of course, never miss a single goal with McDelivery, available via the Uber Eats app. Here's Dennis Cometti to call us home.
Boundary throw-in on the outer side, backhanded down by Fort towards the boundary. That man again, Treloar, gets boot to ball, sockers it along the boundary line. Harry Taylor gets across, but the ball had crossed that line. So it's been a game dominated by Collingwood. You always felt Geelong weren't completely out of it, but they eventually have fallen by the wayside. Collingwood just too much run in the midfield. And they've had some stars. Grundy has been one of them. Decisively wins this tap, but it's all Geelong in front of the pack. It's taken by Dangerfield. He kicks a high ball up towards the wing. Moore gets a fist on it, knocks it down in front. Pendlebury slides a hand pass away. Quaidar kicks it down towards the pocket. Oh, brilliant by De Goey. De Goey controlled it like a waiter on the boundary line and room serviced it all the way to the goal line and just popped it through. Remarkable stuff. 8-9-57, 5-5-35. I rest my case. He's a champion.
I was waiting for it. He's a ripper. He's freshening himself up.
You must have misheard, you bloke.
You said,
cut it out.
You said underrated, not overrated earlier, didn't you?
I did.
Like he's very underrated.
Do we keep a transcript of this?
No.
No, good. Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
Looking forward to the Macca's moment a bit later, Den. I'm not sure what that would be, but just wonderful play to go in. He's just a fantastic play. You just can't help but love him. And I reckon with the Pies now, they move themselves the second on the ladder, and it could just be this guy come September, October this year that may just stand up for his team.
I reckon he's a forward, part-time, 20% midfielder. You can see what he do in the forward line. 16 disposals, 5 hot dogs out of 8 goals. What a night.
Poor old Kolodjasny, he's still with him.
He's kicked the last 3 goals.
Chris Scott's
of the
just
game.
gone to him, mate. You know what? Hang in there, big fella.
There's only 17 seconds remaining, champ. Out of the middle they come, the Pies. But it'll be game over very soon. A little bit of a fumble from Buse. He gathers it, has a run, lobs a hand pass over the top, but it'll be the Pies winning at Optus Stadium. Big win for Collingwood. Big game from Jordan De Goey. 5 goals. Here's the song, Pies fans. Yeah, good old Collingwood there, De Goey all the way to September. You'd have to think they look the goods. 8-9-57, plays 5-5-35. Jordan De Goey, the star, with 5. He kicked the last 3 goals of the game, and he kicked the first of the game. Welcome back, Jordan De Goey. We'll head down and catch some interviews in just a moment, but the performance of Collingwood was really impressive all the way through. Geelong had a little crack, but just didn't have the class with no Joel Selwood, especially early on.
Yeah, you lose the quality in Joel, and then obviously spoke about Mitch Duncan not playing tonight as well. But they laid the foundations in the first 10 minutes of the quarter. They were plus 10 or 12 contested disposals early. They were beating Geelong at what Geelong wanted to do, and then, of course, you lose the champion in Joel Selwood. They're midfielders tonight. Treloar 34, Pendlebury 24, and Taylor Adams 21. They just got to work early. And their connection mids to forwards, I know it was only 8 goals to 5, but their connection, they just looked a lot more dangerous going inside 50. Geelong seemed to be competing against an extra number all night, whereas Collingwood, they just looked as though they had their measure in the forward half.